Good thing I caught you right now.
Word. All right, should be live in a second.
Yeah, good thing I caught you. The nigga was going in too. So,
Yes, indeed, y'all. Peace, love, and light. This is No Ledge Media, and you are now rocking with the best. Yes, indeed. All right. We started at the appropriate time of 11:11. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back to KTL TV. Tonight, though, the screens are gonna be blacked out. I don't have my what you call it? What's that thing called? The contraption. My podcast contraption, family. I don't have that podcast contraption with me tonight. So my camera on my regular computer, you see how fuzzy that shit look? We ain't gonna do that. All right. So we're gonna do the blackout. We're just gonna have to focus on that good audio, that cloth. But
hmm
trust and believe that, you know what I'm saying? You know that it's gonna be all the way upstairs tonight. So fret not. You feel me? I'll do some screen shares and you know what I mean? You can look at some of that stuff. But in the meantime, in between time, you know, just tune in. You know, let me know if the audio was good from where y'all at. Throw it in the chat. Audio good.
I hear you good.
All right. And my brother Ken Brisbon is already in the building. We got our guests in the building tonight. You know what I'm saying? So we're not even gonna waste no time. We're gonna get right into it. This is Tough Talk Tuesday. This is episode 6. Brother, I believe that we started in February. We're in April, almost at the end of April at that.
How about that?
Bruh, I thought February was a quick month. I thought January was quick. April, son. April went by. This is the fastest April on record. Feel me?
hmm
I ain't never witnessed an April that went by so quick.
hmm hmm I swear we in another dimension. I don't care what nobody says. I swear I woke up. I can't tell you when, but I woke up in another reality because it's like inflation. I don't get a lot for my time. You know how you don't get a lot for your dollar right now?
Dollar, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get a lot for my time. I have a whole, I plan my day a day before, and I don't get a lot of time, fam. You know what I'm saying? When I'm looking at my like what I did today, it's like inflation on my time, and then and then it just seems like there's glitches. It's glitches going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? And
Bruh.
um, I
Major
think
glitches.
what you say.
Major glitches taking place.
Yeah, it's like time glitches, you know what I'm saying? But that's expected because if it's true that we're in a simulation, then what is time? You know what I'm saying? What is time? Like a year and a half ago, I'm in DC, I'm walking down the street and I see these dudes in a manhole, right? And I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? What y'all doing? It just was a odd hour to be working in a manhole. It was like 11:30. I was coming from downtown
At
DC.
night?
Yeah. They was in a manhole. And I'm like, what y'all doing? And it was like, oh man, we're connecting something called 5G. I'm like, really? I'm like, what's that? They said they were workers. Man, I don't know, man. I'm just doing my job. And then I went further and I was looking into it and I was like, And then I added it to everything that I was hearing with CERN and holographic reality. And I'm like, okay, that's what happened. I woke up one day and I was chipped up. Period. We're chipped up right now. We're in the shit. We're officially in the matrix. You don't have no
Oh,
concept of time, man.
oh, you in the matrix. We in the matrix for real.
To- Totally, totally.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every last one of us have sold our soul. Every last one of us. Every last one of us. Whether you think your morality game is up or not, you are in the beast. You are in the computer. You got social media. You sign on. You are a cybernetic being right now. You in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Them likes give you dopamine too. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? So we're all part of it. So now you just got to figure out how to make the best of it, because you can't stop technology.
yeah, somebody said sold it to these phones. You know what I mean? Yeah, you locked up in these cell phones. Like, true story. You know, I was out. You know, I did the West Coast for the about 2 weeks. It felt like 3 weeks. I don't even really know if it was 2 or 3 weeks. I got to sit down and do the math. But yeah, like these phones, man. These phones is like a very large part of our lives, and I seen people doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just really alarmed me in regards to the voluntary invasion of privacy. There is, I guess, prior to this, like the just because you got a phone don't mean that you got to pull it out every time and record. Like, remember, there used to be etiquette involved to say, "Yo, I'm gonna ask you if you want me to do something, like film me," which is a documentation that exists forever, and then you could be having conversations that don't supposed to be getting recorded. You could be places where people don't necessarily need to know where you at. You feel me? Like, all of that is out the window right now
Mhm.
because of these phones, and people feel that they have the liberty just because they're in your presence. You feel me? To pull a phone out and film you, and it shouldn't
Why?
be done.
I mean, I think the why is important though. Why? What's the
I
why?
when I ask these questions, the people seem bewildered. One, that I would even ask, but two, when they got to think about it, they don't even know themselves. It's almost like it's just triggered in them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's just triggered in them, and I'm like, is everybody since everybody want to be an investigator, a CSI reporter? Does that mean everybody wants to be the police too? Right? They are they involuntary polices?
Mhm.
They just start recording people, and then it's like not even it's recording or going live, and you're like they're going live right away. Like, I don't
Well,
ask, no, I don't go. You know what I mean? I ask person like, yo, or let them know like, yo, I'm about to go live. You know what I'm saying? You might want to fix your makeup or something.
yeah.
You might want to put that coke away. You're going live. Like, it's just shit that you do. You know, to just show some respect for the situation, and I don't really see that. You know what I mean? I
Well,
don't.
well, well. This the thing, fam. Okay. So when a person records something, right? They don't just record it and watch it by themselves, right? They record it to upload it, because this is the credit score, bro. You know what I'm saying? You might be the one to get that video to go viral. You might be that one. Especially right now, bro, it's very hard to cut through the algorithm. Okay. So, you seen record routes break the internet. So for your shit to cut through the algorithm, it gotta break the internet. So when people are pulling out that phone, people wanna be that person. Like, yeah, I posted that on my page. Everybody got their phone out. But what do they do with what they recorded? They upload it. They upload it for the world to see. You know, it's a social it's a form of social capital to be that person with you got such and such got knocked out and you recorded it, or such and such got robbed, or you heard such and such business. You know what I'm saying? It's an interesting thing, and the uh the video that exposes somebody, that's really the someone's secret, someone down, your favorite celebrity has a flaw, and I caught it.
And I
You know what
caught
I'm saying?
right.
Caught it. I caught
You know,
Beyonce's flaw. Told you she ain't shit.
I told you, yeah, that bitch ain't perfect. You know what I'm
She
saying?
ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? She ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting phenomenon. But here's where it's dangerous because, like we talked about a few weeks ago with the reticular activating system, people they they'll never be able to get to self improvement because their reticular activating system is going to filter out everything that doesn't deal with that particular confirmation bias. So if it's not gossip, if it's not someone being exposed, if it's not bullshit, then it's not going to get through it and penetrate to into the people's mind. So the beast, the matrix, the white man, the sky daddy, the adversary, they never have to show up because at this point, it's it it's a people are autonomous in terms of the going down the wrong path. They never have to even show up. They don't have to do anything, bro. You know, just pay attention to a Breakfast Club feed, right? When Takashi 69 went on the Breakfast Club, they captioned it a certain type of way, and the shit had mad views. Why? Right now, then check. I think her name is Stacey Patton. Somebody. She deals with like economics.
Yeah.
Her shit wasn't lit like that on the Breakfast Club.
At
Now,
all.
now that's very interesting because she's talking about something that you actually need, you actually can use. We're talking about finances. Marriages end because of finances. People are telling me the black community is the way it is because of finances. Um, People are killing over finances. People are having stress related, illnesses because of finances. So I think that would be a conversation that would have the most views, but that's not. Look at the audio book. Look at all the self improvement. You might got one that'll catch fire if it gets a celebrity endorsement or something. But for the most part, how come all the things that have the word expose in it, some type of clapback, even conscious community beef, why do they have the most views? It's because of the person that posted it. They need that they need to build up their social capital, and the audience's reticular activating system can only interface with that kind of content. They're so far gone now that nothing else can penetrate. So it's dangerous on both sides, bro.
Hmm. I mean, everything that you're saying is right and exact. You feel me? And I've bore witness to it. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is crazy. And I even had to, I participated in some of it the other day. Just because I wanted to see. So I clickbaited a video that I had put on IGTV, right? I was with my dude out west, my dude,
You did the clickbait.
huh?
You did the clickbait.
I did the clickbait in the title, right?
What what words did you
He had a video about Alexa, right?
use? Okay, okay.
So I said, Alexa exposed. No, that shit went off. It went viral.
Wow.
It went viral because I had exposed in it. And now, if I would have been like, brother asked us some serious questions about the Alexa recording system. Nah, son, like that wasn't hitting at all. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't have hit.
Hmm.
And I've sat back and have wondered, like, damn, I've spoken to people about topics, and then they said it was gonna be one thing, and then when I see it online, it's titled something different, and it's clickbait. And I'd be like, first I was in my feelings, like, damn, why would somebody do something like that? And then I really had to study the game and see what was going on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then I think it really hit me when the Nipsey situation popped
Hmm.
and how he clickbaited that.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is real. Like dudes that are not saying absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
You understand? has 60K views in a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, well, the appetite of the people, you know what I mean? What trough are they going to feed from?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got to step back and just take a diagnostic of the people. And you're like, oh, they're going to go to that video. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the views that them videos got. You dig what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that the stuff that is of real quality, the stuff that can really help you prove yourself and push the ball forward up the court. You dig what I'm saying? That stuff gets little to no attention. You know,
There's, there's a reason for that though.
I know, I know people that is like very much worthy to listen to that are spitting nothing but game,
Mm-hmm.
and their YouTube count is. So I'm like, damn, you skipping over this to go to what? You know what I'm saying? Like you skipping over this to go to what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There again, there's a reason for that, bro. And the reason is here's the deal. It's easy to blame. It's easy to blame the government. It's easy to blame the system. It's easy to blame the police because you don't actually have to change when you blame. When you blame, you don't have to change, right? Um, anything that's dealing with enlightenment is called enlightenment. Anything that's dealing with enlightenment, anything that's dealing with higher learning, anything dealing with personal development, the reason why it has the least views is because it's hard to do. Really think about it, bro. How come Tony Robbins is not a target? How come Les Brown is not a target? We'll say somebody from like the conscious community. Oh man, they're a target. Dave Chappelle didn't want to wear a dress, so he was a target, right? We'll always make say someone's a target. How come Les Brown is not a target? How come Tony Robbins is not a target? Wouldn't the government want to kill Tony Robbins? The reason why I say that is because he actually changed his life
Right.
on a personal level. Tony Robbins had a book, Money Masters. He sat down with the top financial minds on the planet. How come he can do it? How come he can go to and fro? How come Eric Thomas is not a target?
E.T.
You know, how come I know for a fact that people that are going into the draft now are motivated by Eric Thomas' words. I've seen him live. He's good at what he does. How come he's not a target?
Hmm.
Why wasn't Wayne Dyer a target? How come Abraham Hicks is not a target? She has these cruises around the world. How come the CIA or a Navy SEAL is just not whacking her in the ocean? How come she's not a target? I want everybody to really think about the people that I'm saying if you know their work. How come they're not targets? The reason why they're not targets is because they deal with personal development. And when you deal with personal development, you're not a threat because everybody can't do it. It is very difficult. It is very difficult. See, the thing, when you're talking about real truth, you're not a threat.
Oh,
You're not a threat when you talk about truth. Who's going to do it? To actually make a commitment to change their life, that is very, very, very difficult. Not just for black people, for whites, for anybody. It's very difficult.
right.
The average American lives a below doesn't live a high quality life, bro. White families, black families, divorce rates high, depression is high, stress is high. Why do you think there's so many life coaches now? right? But how come when you talk about personal development, you're not a threat? Nobody gonna do it. No one's gonna do it.
Hmm.
So this is why when you go to Supreme Personality by Eugene Delmer, um, his audiobook, you would think it would have 10 million views, but it doesn't. When you go to the audiobook, The Power of Concentration, you would think it has a million, so many views. You could go check out The Richest Man in Babylon. You would think that these things have a million views. They don't. No, Think and Grow Rich is online. Think and Grow Rich is responsible for every damn near millionaire that was born past 1950. When you ask any entrepreneur, any person successful in industries, what's the book or what's the thing that got it's always Think and Grow Rich. How come that book is not banned?
Right. They ain't banning that. They ain't burning the banning.
They ain't banned that book, and that book is changed, and it is responsible for taking niggas out the projects too.
Facts.
Facts. You don't think Jay-Z read Think and Grow Rich? You don't think Master P has read Think and Grow Rich? No? You don't think Russell Simmons has read Think and Grow Rich? You don't think 50 Cent has read Think and Grow Rich? I know 50 Cent has read Think and Grow Rich because 50 Cent did a book with Robert Greene. I know he read Think and Grow Rich. That's not illegal. Why? Because Napoleon Hill also talks about transmutation and sexuality in that book too. Being able to take your sexual energy, curve it, and turn it into creative energy, work energy. Everybody can't do that. And nobody can do that. There's no such thing as waking somebody up right now. How you gonna do that when there's no secret?
You said when there's no what? No teachers?
Nope. What you want to learn? Masonic handshakes, public record. What you want to learn? The passwords, Boaz and Tubal Cain and shit. That's what you want. The Lion's Fall.
Okay, so you saying there's no more secrets.
It's no more secrets.
Everything's online.
Everything's online.
Right. So we don't need teachers, we need coaches.
Man, that's it.
Hmm.
Oh, so that's very telling that those things that deal with exposing that's that's very telling that those numbers is up and there's no secret. That like the so-called elite, they can kick their feet up. Whoever they are, the hidden hand, the bankers, the House of Rothschild, they can kick their feet up. Job done. They're working on some galactic shit now. They're not even worried about Earth right now. For what? For what? The shit is already in place to stop any innovation. It won't grow. I.e. Nipsey Hussle. It won't grow. The shit in place is gonna make sure of that. The collective reticular activating system is going to make sure of that. So enlightenment is going to stay down. Bullshit is going to stay up. And the thing about it is enlightenment is everywhere though. Literally, bro.
Hmm.
Literally. It's everywhere. Right now, me and you could go on a holistic retreat right now and no one's gonna stop us.
Oh, at all.
In a so-called oppressive system. Right now, I could go on a healing trip in an oppressive system. That shit sounds so weird. We could go to Sedona right now, my nigga. Do sound therapy, do
Yeah.
aromatherapy,
Yeah. And go into a portal.
do whatever, and we could post the pictures on IG, and nothing's gonna happen to us. Why? Because like Gary Vee said, everybody is being pulled in so many directions that what you're doing in hindsight doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
Don't matter. What's wake? What's always? What does it mean to wake somebody up at this point when there's no secret? All information is available. It won't always be like that though, because we'll go into a dark ages because they'll begin to monetize internet use, meaning you're going to need some type of internet credit to be on Wi-Fi. Guarantee it. You heard it first from me. You will not be able to use the internet for free. The same way Bitcoin was regulated, internet use will be regulated because there is people changing their lives at a rapid rate, and that won't always be like that. So you got maybe 3 to 5 years before you already seen it with net neutrality. They will monetize the internet. You will. It'll be part of your monthly. How much? How much? How much internet credit do you have? You bought the $500 plan for a certain amount of gigs.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I envision, especially when they link in internet of all things, you know what I'm saying? Your internet is not gonna just be $100 anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And they're gonna take that out of your, it's gonna be a direct deposit because it runs everything.
Mm-hmm.
Make a one-time payment,
Mm-hmm.
999 a month.
Man, then what's people gonna do? Then what's people gonna do?
Yeah, like cable, you got your internet package. You go on these sites for this a month, you go on that.
Hmm.
Then, they're gonna do whatever it is they're gonna do. But based on interactions that I just was privy to out west, you know, I wanna shift a lot of my focus towards the advocacy of tech. You know what I'm saying? And that's inclusive of blockchain and cryptocurrency being one of the main devices, one of the two that are available to us in real time that we have to utilize to close this wealth gap. And a failure to do so will by default render us in that permanent underclass that Dr. Claude Anderson speaks so highly of. You feel me? And there's not enough advocacy and education on the part of people that look like us that are explaining this not only to the children but the parents. Because I don't really think you got to tell that much to the children because they playing the video games. They're already spending, digital cash for Fortnite and all these other games. So they kind of get it. They'll be a lot easier to integrate.
Mhm.
You know, if we could get a lot more of them in these classrooms to teach them coding, you know what I'm saying? We know that they can create things that by proxy that we would like to say that they see. But then, that's a stretch because I don't know what black child imagination looks like. I don't even know if it exists. I know that people are telling me they're indigos and they're rainbows and everything like. I see a few things on the internet in terms of some child prodigies and some geniuses, but for the average child in our communities,
Mhm.
I don't really know what their imagination looks like because we don't see it expressed through art.
Mhm.
Whereas when I was growing up, right,
Mhm.
you can see what the average 15 or 16-year old's imagination looked like because they expressed it in graffiti
Mhm.
or we would doodle or you would hear it in song in the form of rap or you would see it come out of them by way of their fashion aesthetic,
Mhm.
right? But since we live in a very modulated society where everything is somewhat monolithic, you don't really see that much diversity in fashion. You damn sure don't hear no diversity in music. The children don't really express themselves in their artistic endeavors. I don't really see that much graffiti, even though our the passing of Nipsey inspired something in creatives where I've seen the art community respond unlike anybody else.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen a plethora of high grade artwork. I'm talking about all the way upstairs, the symbolism, you know what I'm saying, the use of colors, just the attention to detail, the way that, you know what I'm saying, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? But a symbol is worth a million. I think it goes something like that.
A picture's worth 1,000 words. A symbol's worth 1,000 pictures.
Okay, wait, say it again because you're kind of low.
Okay, can you hear me? A
Yeah,
picture's worth 1,000 words, but a symbol is worth 1,000 pictures.
yeah, it is. That part right there. You know what I'm saying? So the symbolism that I seen in the art, like, you know, people think that, you know what I'm saying, the artists are listening and this information is seeping into their subconscious and they responded accordingly because I saw it come out in the art. You know what I mean? What's understood don't need to be said sometimes, right? But how is it expressed? So we had an opportunity now to see how it's being expressed. I haven't heard too much music coming out. You know, I've seen a few people doing tributes, but I'm interested that, you know, Kendricks and the other people of the world, you know what I mean? J. Cole's, you know, those people that can really strike chords, even a Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see what comes out musically, you know what I mean, after their heart was hit in a certain way. Feel me? With a situation like this. Rick Ross, you know, I want to see that. I want to, Jay-Z, you understand? Like, I'm looking forward to hear how they respond to this artistically. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the colors that they're going to make with their music, you know, based on how this incident affected them. Um, so yeah, I see the expression in art, you know, but I don't. Outside of that, I don't see too much diversity in our artistic expression, our individualism, you know, and these are the things that worry me. So I don't really know what a child is thinking artistically, or you know, utilizing their imagination. I don't know what their vision is, even for the future, let alone themselves. And these are conversations that I would love to have. You know what I mean? I would love to talk to children, and I want to know what they think. You know what I'm saying? I want to know how they think, and I want to know why they think the things that they think. And that's who I want to help. You know what I mean? That's where I want to direct my focus and my energy. So a lot of
Oh,
things that were very promising, you know, on my last trip. And I had a plethora of meetings that changed my life. And my life got shifted, you know, in a matter of 2 weeks. I'm a different person, you know? And I can't even begin to explain the level of acceleration. Like the quickening is beyond real. You know, I got fast tracked into situations so quick on that last trip that you know, I went to the mountaintop all the way to an underground bunker. Like,
mm.
not literally, you know, figuratively. Like, it was an amazing experience. You dig what I'm saying? But
Wait, so let me interject right there, bro. When you were just talking about innovation, individualism, um, I I I think I know why. I think I know why, and I I'm confident enough to address go head on with this ideal and this topic, so I don't have an issue with it. And the reason why you don't see the innovation, the individualism, you don't see the next stage of so-called black excellence or something like that is because of black Wi-Fi, the collective Wi-Fi network of the black American. Once, if you look at your life pre black Wi-Fi, there's where your innocence is. There's where your creativity is. There's where your genius is. There's where your naivety is. There's where your curiosity is. Once you enter into black Wi-Fi, the collective Wi-Fi, you enter into a ceiling. There won't be any innovation coming out of there. It can't. It's a dead network. Okay. So this is why you don't see certain things. Just pay attention to a Joe Rogan podcast, man. Joe Rogan has one of the top 5 podcasts in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people that come on his podcast are very interesting. They're biologists, they're scientists, they're independent researchers. Elon Musk was on there, Tim Pool was on there, influencers are on there, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson is on there, Killer Mike was on there. It's some interesting thinkers that come on there, and you kind of see a blackout in terms of higher thought. You actually see a blackout when in terms of the narrative and a conversation. There's no niggas, right? It's very segregated in terms of, or 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 we have just got to the point where niggas are so dumbed down that unless it deals with something that feels good or something where you can inject emotion, then it's nothing there. And that comes from the black Wi-Fi. And it's getting worse because the frequency is expanding, bro. And it's a deaf culture. It's not just deaf on your body, it's deaf on your mentality.
Mm.
Now, just here's the trippy shit. Here's the trippy shit. When you go to underground hip hop concerts, it's all white. I'm gonna give you an example of how it's the black Wi-Fi is. It's all white. Like the super lyrical niggas, who's their fan base? Bro, keep it real. Let's go to a Tech Nine, independent Tech Nine. Who's his fan base?
Caucasian.
Caucasian. When I go to a Wu Tang concert, and I'm talking about Wu Tang, fam.
Wu Tang. God
Wu
body.
Tang. Wu Tang. Who's their fan base? I seen it with my own eyes. Can't nobody tell me shit. I already know the answers to my question.
I got one better for you.
Go ahead.
When you go to a Public Enemy concert,
Yeah, who's their fan base? Right? This is very interesting. I went to a Rakim and Kid Capri concert. Niggas was in there, but whites was in there too heavy. Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? Now, if I go to the unlyrical rapper, or I go to the rapper that's putting in work in that music, killing shit, if if all the shit that we can say is wrong with the narratives, with the society, with the community that the rappers talk about, who's in there?
niggas.
Niggas is in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to talking crazy, acting crazy, I guarantee it, when and if I'm trying to find the lowest of low in the society, most diabetes, anything negative, why is a nigga the poster boy for that shit? And that's, I don't like saying that, but that's the truth. But why is it like that? It's the Wi-Fi. The babies aren't born like that; they become that because we have a culture that it's a vampire culture that it steals your innocence and it makes you become that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it exists in the conscious realm too. There's no innovation, bro. Dr. Ben is still that nigga. Why? Because ain't no innovation. Malcolm X is as popular as he's ever been right now. Why? Because no one has exceeded him. He's been dead hella long.
Mm.
He been dead hella long. In white culture, white males have exceeded Napoleon.
Mm.
Eat um uh what's his name? Tim Cook with Apple has exceeded Andrew Carnegie. No niggas have exceeded Marcus Garvey.
Mm.
That's that's true. That that's fucking true, right? So when you look at European males, one stands on the other shoulder, they stand on the other, they get better and better and better and better. I don't care how you feel about them. It's not about if you like them or not. I'm just talking about what Wi-Fi are they on that keeps allowing them to run shit. And they're just not running shit in finance, they're running shit in the sciences too. They're just not running shit in the sciences, they're also running shit in etiquette too. The so-called caveman has better manners than the so-called original man.
Brother, you're gonna have to qualify that statement.
I mean, okay, so I mean, we don't like that, and I'm broad stroking, of course. And what I'm saying is, I'm blaming it on. I'm putting onus. I'm putting thing on the Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Black children don't start out like this. They become this once they start fucking with this culture. Now, if you can get these children and you can develop them on your own without putting them in the black Wi-Fi, you'll raise a group of geniuses. But the moment you put them in this shit right here, it's a wrap for them.
I mean, you know, I can't argue with that at all because I was writing a post. You know what I mean? It's like, you send your little angel to school and your school is gonna send back a nigga.
Hmm.
Once your child gets around those other children and gets exposed to that Wi-Fi, right? There's a groupthink that controls that school. You know what I mean? Like my nephew, he'll come back in here and we be like, "Yo, where did you hear that at?" It's in his social circles. You feel me? It's uploaded now to his Wi-Fi, and because he's under 7, it's lodged in his subconscious. So it's programming him. So we have to be very careful about who we expose the children to, and because we're not given a manual, right, on the most precious supercomputer in existence, you know what I'm saying? The rearing of these children, we have no idea, right, that they're supposed to be guarded and even sheltered those first 7 years. For you to put the program, and then it's necessary for you to grow an adult out of that child of your liking and one that will be conducive to their own liking.
Mhm.
But when the streets get them, right, or the or the nigga net, or what you calling the black Wi-Fi, you know what I'm saying? Or when they're in the back seat catching all of the fumes and the debris of what the people in the front and the passenger seat are spewing based on them, you know, talking about all the spilt milk and hot tea and warm piss and the shit that they got on the radio that's filtering into them babies' ears.
Mhm.
You got exactly what you see out here today. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Uh,
the people they're gonna kick and scream to not take responsibility of this very basic observation. Basic observation. Your babies is not born like this.
uh, uh,
Feel me?
uh, uh.
Your babies is not born like this.
And now born, they're not born like this. And
Right
are you
now
good?
they're running with the billies.
What you say? You went out.
I said Billy used to be a sweetheart. Now Billy's running with the billies.
Um. Okay. So this is the thing. You read the Morningham report a few weeks back,
Yes.
and I wish we could have stayed on that because there were some things in there that is interesting.
I mean I got it pulled up, so
Okay. So for example, there is a clear separate. Like I have a book called White Trash, right? And in this book, White Trash, it talks about the founding fathers' disdain for poor whites. It was so ill between upper class whites and lower class whites that European immigrants would come to America and starve while slaves were eating. That's a lot of the disdain with so-called Black America. It has been with the immigrant portion of white, because believe it or not, for a long time, Black Americans lived better than white people coming to this country. Niggas had skills and niggas ate.
Immigrants.
Yeah, white immigrants had it brutal in this country. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and the founding fathers didn't care for lower class whites, but they were smart enough to create a buffer class to be like, you know what? Eventually, these lower class whites are gonna take all our shit. So let's create a system to be like, you know what? At least you're better than a nigger. You know what I'm saying? But the lower class white, the who is really unspoken for, I'm saying I'm bringing them up for a reason, because the European society is not judged based on lower class white. It's judged based on elite. Black America is not judged off elite blacks. It's judged by the black bottom. So white society is judged from top down. Black society is judged from bottom up.
Mm.
So when we say our people, we do not include black elite. When we say our people, we're only talking about the black bottom. And the black bottom is controls all the narrative, not the talented, not upper class blacks in terms of wealth, education, or wherewithal, black farmers. No, we're always talking about the hood.
Mm.
Now, the reason why that's a problem is because what society is judged bottom up. The reason why I'm saying this is because a nigger is an actual thing. You cannot heal a nigger. Now, some people would say, you know what? I'm from that environment. I got out. You have nigger in you, but you wasn't full blown. It's kind of you wasn't full blown. This is how you're able to read the things you're able to read. This is how you're able to maneuver the way you maneuver. This is how it was always something different about you opposed to everyone else. Your mama might have got on drugs a little bit, but she wasn't sucking niggas off like this nigga's mama. Your mama only went so far. Your daddy only went so far. Y'all wasn't full blown niggas. Y'all was just born into the environment. I'm talking about full blown niggas. It's in the blood. Self destruction. Generation after generation. You can't heal that. It has to play itself out. Millions of bloodlines have to die off. I already said this before. Why am I saying this? So the better parts of blacks can be released. There will never be a black so-called messiah, a black Bill Gates, a black Elon Musk, because the culture, the Wi-Fi is going to see, not no white man. The culture is going to make sure that that seed don't grow.
Mm.
Because the black Bill Gates is always going to be connected to the bottom part. I Nipsey Hussle.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
It's so interesting. Elon Musk gets to flourish. Gary V gets to flourish. They're not tied to it. There's no cinder blocks on their legs. But you, Blue,
And that tied to that lower.
no,
Either
the hot
to the lower white
it's
society
so
at all.
it's so unfair.
They have no association, no expectations from them. They have no relations, nothing.
They could pursue their desire
Freely. They ain't got to
But
go back and do nothing for nowhere. They just got to go up. How about that?
what are you doing? I've heard that all. What are you doing for black people? Like, what the? Wait, no. What is God doing for black people? Why are you asking me? I just fucking got here. What are you asking me? It's a whole God out here. What the fuck? Can I get a piece of bread? Can I get a little drink of what are you doing? Bill Gates doesn't have that thing. You know what I'm saying? He'll and the thing that he does, he's going to create more Bill Gates, meaning um computers so children can learn, or you donate to other alumni or whatever. But the reason why they're able to that's the real definition of white privilege is the fact that they could be individuals.
Mm.
They could wear their hair how they want. I can't, nigga. I do my shit pink. I'm a weirdo. Yo, what's up with your man, yo? See your man? Like, as long as I come with the regular low Caesar archetype, it's all good, nigga.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how the Wi-Fi works. And what happens is the black children have to conform. I know because it happened to my son. My son used to like Skechers. I put him in a black school. You know what they said? What are those?
Mm.
He came in through them. He was like, "Yo, I'm straight. I need Jordans." He never was into that shit. I had to put him in boxing. I'm like, damn, you gonna have to throw your hands with these niggas.
Yeah. I'm not
Hell,
laughing.
I felt hella bad. They was like, what are those?
I done had this conversation while people gonna front. I done had this conversation over and over and over with, people that I know that have these children and they change environment and their children get, you know, targeted because they don't fit that group mold. You know what I mean? And then they start getting downloaded and open to programs of other children who already got malware in them. You know what I'm saying? And then people get uncomfortable when we have conversations like this. But I'm like, yo, why is your priority not little Jimmy? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is little Day One not your number one priority? And your failure to understand that you're exposing them, right, to a death culture at such a young and precious age. Like, what do you expect to get from that, family? Right? Young Nipsey, I don't know. I'm sure at this point, I can't say everybody, but if the family saw the funeral, the broadcast, you know, you would see that they say that that man was a valedictorian of his school. He was a nerd. You know what I'm saying? A self-admitted nerd. I'm not putting a word on him. This is the word he used for himself, right? So he was a nerd, right? He moved into a neighborhood um, that required him to show that he had hand skills and heart, right? Now I'm not sure if people are familiar with the Rolling 60 Crips or the initiation process, okay? But you literally have to have blood on your hands in order to be in that organization, okay? So these are not organizations unlike the mafia and Irish gangs and different ethnic gangs prior to them that assure a level of upward mobility because people are now taking funds and either going into politics, right, or putting shit up in international markets or buying real estate. You dig what I'm saying? Like none of that is taking place in these street organizations. You feel me? Like Freeway Ricky Ross said that he made a million millionaires in his run. Most of them was gangbangers. The majority of that money went into artillery. You understand? I really don't know, or maybe the people are just being naive when they are so lost about what's taking place in the streets, and the fact that the momentum and the pace and the trajectory of our people, if you want to use that term, has been hijacked. So the revolutionary spirit has been replaced by the pimp and the hustler. Where are they going to take you? Where they're going to take the genre? Where they're going to take the people? Where they're going to take the culture? Right? What do you expect out of that? And you're getting exactly you have no expectations. You know what I'm saying? You have no bar for it. You can't demand anything on it.
Hmm.
So you left with what you got. That's what you got. Like, why are we not having these conversations?
In denial.
I just watched the documentary, right? It's my mother's birthday. Shout out to Mama Phil. And this was mandated. We had to watch this as a family, right? It was called Boss. Came on PBS. It was about black generational wealth. And it spoke to the fact that in the early 20th century, which is the 1900s, all the way up to maybe the 50s or the 60s, right? When we had to do for self because we had no options, right? Integration did not exist. We were segregated people, but we were winning in terms of being economically viable, right? Our decor, our demeanor was dignified.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We made our own clothes. We had our own buildings and houses and everything that we had to provide for ourselves. Because no European was clothing us. No European was providing housing for us. You know what I'm saying? Or transportation to a degree. No European was responsible for feeding us. You know what I'm saying? And because we don't have these conversations, I don't think people, because at some point I didn't even think that this was true. So I don't think the majority of people are accepting of that fact, right? That we're talking less than 100 years ago. Because we love to talk about what we never did or we don't do, but the conversations are not being had. People are not being open enough and putting things together because everything is compartmentalized with Black people. We don't, nothing's holistic. So there's only talk about Black Wall Street. They don't talk about Central Avenue in LA. They don't talk about what was going on in Harlem. The fact that melanated
Southside
people,
Chicago.
melanated people got pushed out of Wall Street. They got pushed out of Washington Square. They got pushed out of the rest of the village. They got pushed out of Hell's Kitchen. They got pushed out of Lincoln Center in that park. They got pushed out of Central Park, and they got pushed out of the lower parts of Harlem. Right. So gentrification is nothing new.
Hmm.
Right. It's nothing new. These are processes and procedures that have been continuing in perpetuity. Right. Because the victim or whoever's being targeted fails to learn whatever lesson needs to be learned and strategize to go on offensive, right? I mean, on the defense, should I say, from these offensive measures. So all of these things existed in regards to, you know, all of those pictures that you see of us in our regal nature in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 20s, when we was dressed to the nines, all of that was made by melanated people. All of that was made by melanated people. You know what I'm saying? When we was really fly. My mother, she got on my live yesterday and she told the story of Harlem Nights. She said that's her favorite movie with Eddie and Richard and how they looked, that glow up. She's like, that's how we looked in Harlem, right? Before the coke and the dope hit. So I don't want to
What
sit and have No
Wait,
kind.
Blue. Let me add to that too, bro. And I'll let you go. Let me add to that.
We, we,
The
we,
the
we we need not have any conversations in a modern day context of slavery or about uh, reparations or none of those things without having an open discussion in real time about the fact that we had already got over that hurdle. Don't bring us back to that shit. If we're not talking about the chemical warfare that took place, right, which would necessitate a level of responsibility to kick in, because then we have to be like, oh, so we got to stop glorifying the fucking trap or the drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Yes, my niggas, that's what decimated and destroyed the fucking community. That's what have us out here looking crazy and goofy right now. Stop blaming fucking slavery. Okay? It was chemical warfare. And that's what we're looking at. That's as a result of that shit. A nuclear fallout is 7 generations fallout from nuclear bombs. So we're only like in the fourth and the fifth. We ain't seen it all yet. But this is what we're dealing with. This is what bottomed us out. People got a tendency to go through these communities and think that this shit has been decimated post slavery. No, our shit was sprawling. It was built up. They had an entire community in Wilmington. They had an entire community in Durham. They had entire communities in Florida,
Compton,
Rosewood.
Compton,
Compton was a sprawling community.
Compton was on, and that's the one a lot of people don't know about. Compton was a thriving black community until about 1975. And the interesting thing, right? Because I know people didn't like my comment about the black bottom. But remember that documentary I sent you, Blue? You had working blacks, middle class blacks, talking about the new blacks that were moving in the area, and they were bringing the property value down. They was coming with a lot of bullshit. They was coming with a lot of dysfunction, and it made middle class blacks move out of the city. This is Compton. So
Mhm.
going back to that Morningham report that you're talking about
The
is
pathology, yeah.
the bottom part that I'm talking about. The nigger has overran, and we're very delusional. We don't want to talk about this shit. The nigger has infiltrated what you consider the original man or those the chosen or black society. We don't want to deal with that because we don't know what a nigger is. Now, you mentioned Harlem Nights, Blue. There's something in that movie that's very interesting. Not just the look of the movie, the intellect that they displayed. Eddie Murphy is real intricate in his depictions of things. Quick and Richard Pryor's character, what they did was outsmart the mob.
She speaks about that, and I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna add on because I gotta give Mama her voice tonight. But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. They outsmarted the mob, bro. They showed something, right? This is interesting. They showed something that is argued amongst white academics, the intellect of the so-called African or African American, right? In terms of IQ, according to their standards, our IQ is 80. The Khazar people of Khazar descent have the highest IQ in East Asia, right? In that movie, they show intellect. They outsmarted. They outsmarted. Would Calhoun be considered white supremacy, Blue?
He yes, she would.
Okay, they outsmarted white supremacy. Now, when you hear black think tanks talk about the issues, no one ever sounds smart for real. They make niggas feel good,
Right.
but nothing is out. How would you beat a white supremacy if you go by that? The way for you to counter it would be to outsmart it,
Yes. You have to
right?
out. Right. You have to outmaneuver it.
You would have to outmaneuver it,
You have to think
right?
like yes. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So The thing about it, the reason why it has not been outsmarted is because all the focus keeps going to niggas at the bottom. Now, the ones that don't want to be at the bottom don't stay there. That's a fact. This is America. All you have to do is give a little effort and you can get it out. But when are we going to actually step back and be like, yo, what if there's millions of niggas that don't want what I want? What if? What if all the shit, my people? What if you're talking for a person that'll put a pistol in your mouth and blow your brains out for $5?
Mm.
Who? I think we might want to, because is your people Richard Pryor's group from Harlem Nights, or is your people Eric Holder? Because Eric Holder got a people,
Got it, people.
right? Eric Holder got a people, yo. When
Right.
you say my people, who are you talking about? Let's be specific for a second, because that's why analytics is important. Let's run data. Who is your people? How dark a nigga gotta be? What kind of language he gotta use? What, you know what I'm saying? Is it based on any behavior? Any behavior? Because if you say my people, then I know you got a constitution that come with that, right? Where's your bylaws? How can someone be your people, right? Because the people that the people that are at the bottom, they the streets is held together by some unwritten rules, right? That needs to be adjusted, right? Real nigga, real nigga. That's the one thing that was going on with Nip. Nip's a real nigga. Nip's a real nigga. And I'm like, yo, what handbook is niggas reading off of? Because I be confused on what's real and what's not. Because Kodak Black said something and then niggas came out, but then bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Big said, don't you know my nigga Gutter kidnap kids? Fuck them in their ass, send them over the bridge. So I be confused about these this the Wi-Fi with no constitution. So when you say my people, who are you talking about? Because that's real important, bro. But I'll let you go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So she made a point to say that, Eddie said, look, we not gangsters like them, we businessmen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
We're not gonna stoop to the level of the Irish gangsters posing as police and the Italian mobster handlers. He said we're gonna use, right, the thing that we have that's superior to them because they have more guns than us. But what they don't have is melanated black intellect.
mm,
So before, you know, this other aspect of groupthink existed, they utilized their secret constitution, their own secret society, the fact that we had, and I'm not talking secret society in terms of conspiracy people. I'm saying we had community with a secret can stay there, right?
mm,
Or we was teetered to one another enough that a boycott in Selma and the rest of the places can work, right? People was on one page and one accord to say we could follow through with this. So he was able to hatch a plan who had many players and nobody ran and told the man. You dig what I'm
mhm,
saying?
mhm,
And they was able to pull that off and outsmart the people who had, more brawn but didn't have the brains, didn't see
mhm,
it coming, underestimated you because they look at you like a boy and you're not expected to think on that level.
mhm.
So what happened to that? Where them people at?
Mm. Hmm. Who would they be today? So who would be the what does Harlem Night, that archetype, what does that look like today?
What would that archetype look like today?
Yeah.
Robert Smith.
Tell everybody who Robert Smith is.
Robert Smith is the richest melanated man on the planet, right? He's a brother, of course, and he's into tech.
Hmm.
He's into tech, and he's a strategist. Feel me?
Hmm.
He's a strategist. So, you know, his whole thing is about I'm gonna infiltrate. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna take that thing over because I have a superior intellect, and I'm able to see things that they can't. So I'm gonna merge, you know, tech with finance and come up with a killer app, and I'm gonna run the map like that. And that's what he did.
Well, oh, just real quick too, Blue, you'll like this number. So bruh from Nigeria got more bread than him based on net worth. Donkate, the cement baron, but Robert Smith, Blue, you're gonna like this. He's worth 4.4 billion.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's the richest black man in America.
Right. We got right PBS because they said the world, but you know, it's,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Donkate, bruh from Nigeria. He's up at like 18 billion with cement.
he's up
But
18.
yeah, it's something's crazy. Um. But when you said his name, there was many people that didn't know him, and I understand. I
Oh,
understand.
he ain't in no rap songs.
You know what I'm saying? Right. When when you say
Look,
people
wait, wait.
included,
Not to cut you, but this is important, right? This is important, but we got to go back to this at some point. You know, he's not in rap songs because rappers can't glorify how he got his bread. It's not dirty enough. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? He
mm,
said you do well by doing good.
mm.
You feel me? That's not a ethos that is promoted in hip hop. Now, this is the thing. If Lupe Fiasco did what Nipsey did, would he be lauded and applauded the same way?
Mm.
Right? If he took some money from, when he was hot, tour bread, and he invested that tour bread, and let's say he put 50,000 into Lyft when it first came out, and the shit flipped to a $50 million, what I'm saying, turnover when it went public, and he went and bought up the south side of Chicago,
Mhm.
right? Would the glamorization be the same? You feel me? Or are people quietly and secretly glamorizing and allowing Nip to have his day because he's neighborhood? And the niggas who know what that means. He put in that work before, right? So they saying, look, he's a real one. But that means different things to different people at different times,
Mhm. Mm.
right? So all of these people are caught up. It's almost like the English language. Oh, one word means one thing in one way, then they do in another. Everybody's using the same language, right? Because now it's part of, it's part of the common culture etiquette, you know what I'm saying, or colloquialisms or what have you. But the shit has a different meaning. You know what I'm saying? It means something different behind the wall than it do on the streets. It means something different in the streets than it do in the chat room.
Hey, Blue, get dig this. So this is how the black Wi-Fi works, and then I want you to add on to this. If a dude is from the street and niggas, he's respected because he get busy, right? So he got knife work, he got gun work, he get it in. He's respected. If he begins to change his life a little bit, everybody loves it. Now, but he has put work in the street though. Somebody brother, somebody mother, somebody has felt this nigga's hand. Cool, all good. We revere that shit. Me too. I'm included. 'Cause I'm part of the nigga shit too, right? So I ain't you know, my favorite album is Gangsta and the Gentleman. Styles P killed a million niggas in that album. But peep though, Ben Carson ain't never did none of that shit. Niggas don't fuck with him. He's a heart surgeon, but he's a coon. Okay, he's a coon, but if you kill a black man, or if you leave a black woman to raise a child by herself, or if you've been a terror in the community, right? It's all good.
Public school era, right?
But Ben Carson is the problem. And he ain't did none of that shit. Now I'm confused. Make that make sense. If Ben Carson is a coon, but yet he never punched a black man in the face, robbed a black man, called a black woman a bitch in a song, he never did none of that shit. But you don't like his politics? But a nigga coming home from jail that got 3 bodies,
He's a real one.
he's a real one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just saying though, make that now it was not like, and I'm saying that because it was not like that in black culture before. The underworld was very private and it was respected, but black society was judged from the top down. When we're talking about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, that's the top down because that is a representation of intellect. When you're talking about Garvey, you're judging the culture from the top down. When you're talking about Adam Clayton Powell, you're judging the culture from the top down. That was the standard.
Fact.
Now it's judged from the bottom up.
When did that happen and how did that happen?
The war on poverty, welfare, white liberals. You know what I'm saying?
But how did the transference of power? Because that's a power dynamic that you're talking about. You know, like I said, it would happen when the shift from the revolutionary was once the alpha in society, right?
Right, right.
That was looked upon as attractive, right? That had a status to it. Oh, he's putting on for the people. This is where the concept of the people came from. And it was relative because, you know, a person was really the leader of the people. Like you really was frontlining and putting it on the line to bring it back to the people because, you know, it was community. So the people was an actual thing. But when integration came and you're no longer part of the community, you black but you live in Wisconsin, you black but you live in Amityville, Long Island, where you're the only one on your block. You're no longer part of a identifiable quote unquote community. You're scattered, but I'm tethered to you because of your skin, supposedly, allegedly. You feel me? But we don't have the same politics, right? We're not romanticizing the same things.
Mhm.
You identifying with some other things that might be a little bit different. You're moving more towards that line, you know what I'm saying, based on integration. You know what I mean? You're going over, you're crossing over, as they would say. And that is changing you. You know, and that's not a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's just what happens. And it's all experimental, you know? And the alpha gets replaced. They showed it in the movie Panther. Not Black Panther, but Panther. And it all happened in Oakland, right?
Mhm.
For the police,
Mhm.
right? Who, of course, lower level police, that's paramilitary. Then you have the feds, or you got, you know what I'm saying, then you got military, then you got, the men in black, I guess, if you will.
Mhm.
So the lower level paramilitary police is fighting the war for government to say, look, we got to get these militants, these black, militants up out of here. So they partner with the people who they interact with the most, right? Which is the criminal element, the people that they're going to be picking up and interfacing and interacting with every day. In this case, they bring in a hustler.
Mhm.
He's getting packs off for the mob. The police and the mob was already in bed. Like you said, the Italian and the Irish connection has always been there,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
the understanding is that, look, we run in these streets. There's money in these streets, so they have to have some level of partnership.
Mhm.
You know, they tell a hustler, look, get rid of the revolutionary, and you could do what you want,
Mhm.
right? Telling the pimps, look, you can flourish. Matter of fact, you see them little girls over there, go turn them out. You know what I mean? We're going to provide cover now. So now everybody's in bed. You know what I'm saying? Getting rid of this collective issue and problem they had. Because the hustle and the pimp, like, I don't like these niggas either. They
Mhm.
fucking up my business.
Mhm.
You understand?
Mhm.
So this in this dilemma of what we're talking about, of when the hustler, or in this case the gangbanger, wants to become the activist and the revolutionary, that shit creates a lot of friction, right? And
Mhm.
fissures. And I'm not going to get into the totality of what I learned in Los Angeles, but it's still an issue to this day. And you've seen it play out in real time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? As Buddha Clinks has coined it, Nipsey Hussle will be the very first uh, messianic figure that we saw this negative one. You know what I'm saying? He did something that, is very hard to do. And that's turning an electron to a proton, right? He's tethered to something that at its most essence, if we want to strip it down for what it is, we could say, oh, there's a negative aspect of connotation about what that organization represents, right? For the fact that for you to get in, you gotta have blood on your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we're not talking about on the other side of the tracks blood. We're talking about more than likely somebody that looks like you. You gotta put in that work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're the you're representing a murderous regime, you know what I'm saying? And then you want to transfer that power into positivity. You know what I'm saying? When there's people serving 75 years, 100 years, and gave their entire life, you know what I'm saying, for that blood that that particular contract represents. You want to clean up that constitution and make it pristine. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, you know what I mean? It's not always going to go um, to your liking.
Mhm.
Some contracts are not meant to be broken.
Mhm.
You feel me? Some things, some bacteria is not meant to be cleaned up because that's how it has to operate. You know what I'm saying? It has to operate in that particular manner. Some things can't be sanitized. So, you know, the shit is deep. And that it's the same way that now the underworld elements has a grip on what you said in terms of being now the rule instead of the exception. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How you going to get it released? How are you ever going to get your image back? How are you ever going to get your dignity back? And the people don't even want to have these conversations. You think that it's mysteriously going to evaporate, and they're going to release the reins of the control of the imagery in the direction of Black America, right? How? From what? From who your leaders? What they look like?
Well, bro, look, the reason why, so look, Europe is very interesting because downtrodden crackers got kicked out, right? White society purges white retardation. Let's take even Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is rich, but do you ever see her in pictures with any so-called other white people for real?
Nah, not of
Don't.
that society. They don't fuck with her.
You don't. That
She's weird.
you only see her with like what would be considered the nigger version of whatever group they're fucking with, right? So they got money, but there's a clear separation between them and high society. Okay. The reason why the black American dilemma is so tricky is because retarded blacks was always mixed with smart blacks. There was never a separation because we have this thing of my people, my people, my people. So there's never a separation. But whereas other ethnicities draw a clear distinction between themselves and their bottom, this is a fact. Class is a real thing. Okay. So because there hasn't been any separation, you can't really tell who's who. So right in the same community, bro, this is the odd shit, right? And this don't exist in white environments because I've been there like that. So right in the same street, you got a household that's gang banging right next door. You got a household that's blue collar. Mom is a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Dad drives public transportation. Next to that, you got niggas selling dope. Next to that, you got a single mama that's a nurse. Next to that, they're mixed with each other. And that bus driver father and that school teacher mother is forced to interact with people they have nothing in common with for real. Now, I take it to the white side, right? Doctor, lawyer, engineer, and if there's somebody in that environment that throws them off, they fucking vote them out. Of course, they got their own weird shit, but I'm talking about for the most part that we're forced to we're blended together by the hip no matter what. To the point where a dude that say a middle class black dude goes to college and say he's a conservative, people be like, "Oh, you fucking sellout," and he's like, "What are you talking about? I grew up like this." But the other group of blacks are expecting him to have that same mentality as them. That's why when you hear Ben Carson talk, a Herman Cain talk, a Larry Elder talk, hell, a Sheriff Clark. Oh, he's a coon. What if he did not grow up like that? But you're expecting him to see the world. Come on, brother. Come on, Jive Turkey. You expecting him to see the world like that. That's that black Wi-Fi again. So I think moving forward, especially when you look at the financial forecast of Black America to be in the negative by 2050, right? The only solution is niggas have to practice segregation amongst themselves. And the way that that works is smart black men mate with a smart black woman. Resourceful black man mate with a resourceful black woman, right? You have to kill off the dysfunction. There's some blacks that shouldn't even mate, but you can't legislate people's fucking penises. But there has to be some type of thing where black people that can see into the future, you're gonna have to mate with other people exactly like you so you can breed out the nigger. Because if you don't breed out the nigger, Claude Anderson has said it, George Fraser is also saying it. You will be in a second slavery. Well, your children's children. I won't be here.
You
Blue,
know,
me and you seen the forecast for 2070, in terms of finances. If the African American is projected to be in negative net worth, what does that mean? Where are they going to work when everything is Brazilian, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexican? It, immigration is going to destroy what's left of Black America. That's not my opinion.
Facts.
You don't believe me? Go to Oakland. It used to be all Black businesses. They're now Mexican. It used to be all Black home ownership. Is now Mexican. They
Look,
now have taco spots in New York City,
well, that's a fact.
in Harlem,
Right. So
right?
our conversation was spurned yesterday by she was listening to somebody's blog talk, and a caller called in. He was talking about the Senegalese and the fact that they have a community on 116th in Harlem, and I guess they were complaining, you feel me? And they were attributing it to some things that didn't necessarily stick, probably blaming the white man or something like that. So she started going off on a tangent, and that's what, she got into a conversation about what really happened in Harlem and why no one wants to really say, what I'm saying, that it was chemical, there was a wave of chemical warfare from coke to, PCP to, she's like, in the 60s, some people dabble with the LSD and the acid, but it wasn't that much. Then came the heroin, Then came speed, and then crack. You feel me? And then now it's pills and Lord knows what else that they're doing out there. But it was this wave, all of these chemicals, coupled with the fact that the food was hitting at that time as well.
Mhm.
You know, all of the box foods, because the supermarkets only came in the 50s and the 60s and stuff. People think that how people have been going to supermarkets for hundreds of years. And if you don't talk to people like that, yes, they would think as such. And I understand why. But that's not the case, family. Just like, do you know that our people weren't admitted to hospitals until very recently? So you have to ask yourself, well, where were we going? What were we doing? Where were the babies being had? What do you mean we couldn't get into the hospitals until like the 40s and the 50s, right? Caribbean, where my people is from, they couldn't get into the hospitals until the 60s and the 70s and shit like that. It wasn't admitted. When the white folk touching you or even allowing you up in there. So she was like, it was all Black businesses on 116 before the Senegalese got there. Shit, the Senegalese ain't start coming into the 70s, right? All of that was made possible by the spilling of the king's blood. When Martin Luther King died, he opened up the way for all of that, right? So, it's a fiction, family, that we never had businesses, that we was never in control of our own destiny in this country. You feel me? Or the AOs will have you believe that niggas been crawling on their knees since slavery, and that's not the case. We were very firm. We were very much in control. If them niggas is not willing to go and clean up these neighborhoods, it don't matter how much money you throw at niggas. It's just going to go to buy more shit that niggas don't need. It's going to exasperate the problem, right? It's going to uptick the addiction. Niggas are just going to get higher, right? And they're going to be able to afford more boutique drugs. But it's not going to solve anything. And we have to talk about what are the core issues. Why did we lose that footing, right? Primarily is because integration. And I always tell you a story about Black Wall Street. As much as people love talking about Black Wall Street, they fail to mention that Black Wall Street built itself back in 4 and 5 years. They were resilient. They got back on their feet. What what destroyed Black Wall Street was integration. When they allowed those consumers to take their money across the tracks to the very Europeans that just finished burning them out, they ran to the Europeans, right? Hence came the saying, oh, is there ice colder over there? Okay, that's what killed off Black dependence, Black economics, right? Was the curiosity factor. The fact that you would run into a burning house and still sit at the table and try to turn that TV on because that's all you saw in the commercials and you never experienced it. And the way that you play a nigga is that you dangle some shit in front of him that he never had, right? I spent $700 on this just to say, nigga, you ain't up on this. That's the mentality, okay? And it's a childish one, right? But who's the minorities here? So what are we talking about?
Hey, Blue, you can bring stuff up on your screen right now.
Yeah,
Can you bring up Jeremiah Hamilton?
yeah. And then somebody said chemical marijuana. God damn it! Look, I just came from Colorado. Once again, you can kick and scream all you want, but I was actually in the facilities. You know what I'm saying? I seen what they put in shit. You know what I mean? And guess who got to make a motherfucking a super strain for niggas? The white boys ain't out there smoking moon rock. It's some niggas making that for niggas. It's young niggas making that, right? Just like they got a weed version of lean that they making. Where it's just pure fucking cannabis juice. Like it should have knocked a horse out. But we need that level of stimulation to not come up with no solutions. Like nigga, if you get in that high, you should be piercing the motherfucking Ashkadar. Where Thor and them live at? Where Thor and them from?
Uh, uh, damn, Valhalla. No. Damn,
Asgard.
Asgard.
Yeah,
Asgard.
you should be piercing the Rainbow Bridge on Asgard and going to see Thor and them and Odin and coming back with solutions or hammers. Come on, son. The hell is y'all niggas smoking? They showed us, look, the moon rock got 76% THC in it, son. Like, where are you going? And why you not coming back with nothing? Other than the triple time round. Where are you going? Where's the breakthroughs? I just need a few puffs of some fire, and I got $1 billion idea. Just like that. My business partner had to remind me that he's like, you don't remember you came up with Google Glasses in 2005 and you wrote the schematic? I I done invented so much shit that I forgot about because the time wasn't ready. My shit was always 5 and 10 years ahead. So niggas is getting high and going weird and bringing back what? Like if Elon Musk and them is blowing, you know what I'm saying? Like you could see what's coming out of that situation. You feel me? But yeah, you want me to
Oh,
screen share?
yeah. I wanted you to bring up Jeremiah Hamilton.
Yeah, I got him.
Just, just bring up his Wikipedia, bro.
All right, let me screen share.
Because it's a anytime this is how you get through the cultural reticular activating system. You got to dig in the crates. There's also a good lecture on YouTube called Slaves with Swag, and it's very telling. It's another spin on slavery using articles that people didn't have. Many slaves had money, had jobs, and had more money than their owners. Even in the 1800s, black people was doing their fucking thing.
Bro, they
But
ain't ready for that.
I wanted to bring up Jeremiah Hamilton because
Yeah.
this is a successful man in the 1800s. Why we
Listen,
don't know about him? Let's look at his story real quick.
let me read it.
Yes, please. Can it come up on the screen?
It's on the screen. You don't see it on your side?
Oh, let me see. Okay, they can't see it in the chat.
Why not? That's what they're saying.
No, I can see.
Hmm.
I can see. It's not. It's not on the screen.
All right. Let me see. That might be because I got my camera off.
Oh, okay, okay. Some people said they could see it. Okay, okay, cool.
All right.
Okay, they can see it. All right. So yeah, read Jeremiah Hamilton, man. This is a black man in the 1800s, and it's important that we know these names. So we don't. So we can change the Wi-Fi. Now, nowhere in nature is life easy for any living thing. So just because you get pushback in life, that's all it is pushback. That's all it is obstacle, right? So don't look at it as anything other than that. Don't look at it as, oh, life is so hard for us black people. Man, listen, you want it, you can push through. This is Jeremiah Hamilton. So go ahead, Blue, break the brother down real quick.
Jeremiah G. Hamilton, sometimes Jerry Hamilton, was a Wall Street broker noted as the only black millionaire in New York. And New York at that time was a bastion. It was the center of millionaires. By James McCune Smith, about a decade before the American Civil War. Hamilton was a shrewd financial agent, amassing a fortune of $2 million, which is 250 million in 2018 dollars, by the time of his death in 1875. Although he was the subject of much newspaper coverage, and his life provides a unique perspective on race in 19th century America, Hamilton is virtually absent from modern historical literature. Hamilton first came to prominence in 1828 after hiding out in a fishing boat for multiple days in a Port-au-Prince harbor in Haiti and eventually escaping the Haitian authorities. They had discovered he was transporting counterfeit coins to Haiti, reportedly for a group of New York merchants. In absentia, he was sentenced to be shot. The ship he had chartered, the Anne Eliza Jane, was confiscated by the port officials. Hamilton claimed he had escaped with $5,000 of the counterfeit coin. Almost a decade later, after the 1835 Great Fire of New York destroyed most of the buildings on the southeast tip of Manhattan, Hamilton accrued about $5 million in 2013 dollars by taking pitiless advantage of several of the fire victims' misfortunes. His business practices were controversial. Where most black entrepreneurs sold their goods to other blacks, Hamilton cut a swath through the lily white New York business world of the mid 1830s, a domain where his depredations soon earned him the nickname of the Prince of Darkness. Others, with even less affection, simply called him Hamilton. Like the play? Soon thereafter, he used about $7 million to buy up a substantial amount of land and property in modern day Astoria and Poughkeepsie.
Read that again. How much, Blue?
Soon thereafter, he used about $7 million to buy up a substantial amount of land and property
And
in
what time frame is this?
huh
What time frame is this? 18 what?
1830s,
Oh,
40s.
oh,
God damn.
oh.
In modern day Astoria and Poughkeepsie, so family, Astoria's Queens, Poughkeepsie's upstate New York, Westchester County, right? Lily White. Hamilton will go on to tuggle with Cornelius Vanderbilt, the famous American industrialist, over control of the accessory transit company.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. That is very, very telling. If you ever seen the documentary Men Who Built America,
Yes.
it starts out with the Commodore Cornelius Vanderbilt. Cornelius Vanderbilt, according to Wikipedia, was in a tuggle with a black man
Fact.
over business. I'll say that again. Cornelius Vanderbilt, Anderson Cooper's bloodline. That's who Anderson Cooper's come from,
It was in the Vanderbilts, correct.
right? Cornelius Vanderbilt, who got rich off the railroad, was in a tuggle with a black man,
Power struggle.
not a slave, a free black man over business. So for him to tuggle with Cornelius Vanderbilt, this fucking black man is Superman. Why no one never heard of him? This kind of pokes a hole at all the oppression shit niggas be talking about to me. I'm sorry. He just used $7 million to make moves in 1830. Who the fuck is this nigga?
Look, I'm not finished. Although he circulated amongst the financial elites and was himself very wealthy, he amassed a 2018 equivalent fortune of around 250 million. That's a quarter of a B, right? Hamilton was also a victim of the racism against African Americans so pervasive during the time. During the New York City draft riots, 1863, family, that's when the Irish, right, flipped on the blacks in New York and subsequently replaced them, right? Because at the time, the Irish were at the bottom. They were underneath blacks in New York at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They were considered the niggers of white society, right? They were marginalized more than melanated people in New York at this time. And because of the draft was going to send their sons to war to fight for melanated people in the Civil War. And they turned that city upside down and they beat a lot of the heads of black people in. And this is how they gained political favor in the city and became firemen and police. It was based on the blood that they spilled in the New York City draft riots of melanated people in particular. They got them a footing. So this was the beginning. This is, you can see this in Gangs of New York, right? So this was the ritual. This was the sacrifice that had to be made for your police departments to start. Anyway, when white men seeking to lynch Hamilton broke into his house, but were turned away with only liquor, cigars, and an old suit by his wife Eliza after she said her husband was not home. Eliza Hamilton was white, which made her marriage to Jeremiah taboo for the time. Right? So there's obviously a brother there who just didn't give two shits about what he was doing. At the time of his death in May 1875, Jeremiah Hamilton was said by obituaries to be the richest black man in the U.S. He was buried in his family lot in the Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn. There is no known surviving image of Jeremiah Hamilton. As biographer Shane White has reasoned, Hamilton almost certainly did not have photographs taken and quite likely commissioned a painting. But if any likenesses would have survived, they are possibly cataloged under miscellaneous or as subject unknown.
That was a lot, bro. Seriously. Like I want people to really soak up like what you just heard. This is a somebody. Yeah, okay. You know, he had some bullshit, race shit. You know, look, poor whites. Poor whites are jealous of this man. But this is 1830, my nigga. He's on Cornelius Vanderbilt's radar. Who the fuck is Jeremiah Hamilton?
Fact. They saying he was born in Haiti, but they don't really extra sketch that out. You know what I'm saying? They don't really tell you who he is because they don't know. Right? And I could tell you stories for days. And we have some of them archived. I think the brother name was we did a show on KTL, the Curious Tales of Willis Anderson. I think his name was Willis Anderson. You know, this was a Ethiopian who had came over, and he had millions in gold with him, and he bought up 1/4 of Texas. And we did an interview with some of his blood relatives, who can attest to this. I met John Hanson's great 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 grandson. He got stories for days about, how they was controlling, or they still control a majority of wealth in Kentucky where Fort Knox is at. And they strategically put Fort Knox there because of these people's holding. Like, there's all kind of stories I could tell you. They challenge everything that you've been taught, right? It would better help you understand who we are and why we move like we do, and look at the world the way that we look at it, and treat the shit the way that we treat it. I'm talking about, you know, from the Pill family side of things. Because I done met so many people in real time, in real life, who destroy the Matrix narrative. Like, all of this shit is fiction. All of it. Right?
It's important narrative, bro.
You
This
need me
is
to
important.
what's up? Because I know you be having, you got the you got the rookie card. You got
What you say?
like mad rookie cards of these dudes. I know you got some more to cut, man. You got a rookie card collection.
Go let okay. Let's bring up little Sarah Rector. Let's go to Sarah Rector. Last name Rector, I believe.
Oh, there she go.
Sarah Rector.
I got her.
Now I want everybody to remember Jeremiah Hamilton. And the reason why I brought that up is because, I'm for black people just in a different way. I'm not for the black collective, I'll be honest with you. But I am for the black individual, you know what I'm saying? And I would like to see some people manifest their desires. I would like to see some people go to another level. It's your right. That is your birthright. You do not have to be fooled by what this matrix is telling you. And the matrix even comes in a conscious form. You know what I'm saying? A nationalistic form. And all that shit is to prison. You know
They
what I'm
showed
saying?
you that. They showed you that in Surrogates.
What'd you say?
They showed you that in the movie Surrogates. Remember the prophet? He was
Mm.
amazing. He was a plant. They hit the conscious community with a undercut, a uppercut, a low blow back then when they threw Big Rames in there. You don't remember? He was the prophet, straight surrogate.
And this is the thing. And I'm only saying it like I came up off Bobby Hemmett, and Bobby Hemmett let me know it was okay to go my way in this human experience, and I'll forever love him for that. Cause he said it out of his mouth. The masses ain't gonna do shit. The masses ain't never did shit but die. That's what Bobby said. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's go to Sarah Rector. So we got Jeremiah Hamilton. Let's talk about this young girl, this young rich girl named Sarah Rector that no one knows about. Let's talk about her, bro. Go ahead, bring her up.
Art Rector, March 3rd, 1902, July 22nd, 1967, was an African American member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, best known for being the richest colored girl in the world, or the
Say that
million,
again.
known for being the richest colored girl in the world,
Interesting.
or the millionaire girl, a member of the race.
Hmm.
Sarah Rector was born in 1902 near the all-black town of Taft, located in the eastern portion of Oklahoma,
Black Wall Street. But go ahead.
in what was then Indian Territory. Now remember, not necessarily, because I tell people all the time they had over 16 communities in
Mm,
Oklahoma that were identical, if not even outpacing Black Wall Street. Nobody talks about this. She had 5 siblings. Her parents, Joseph Rector and his wife, Rose McQueen, both born in 1881, were African descendants of the Creek Nation Creek Indians before the Civil War, and which became part of the Creek Nation after the Treaty of 1866. Somebody got some explaining to do. As such, they and their descendants were listed as freedmen on the Dawes Rolls, by which they were entitled to land allotments under the Treaty of 1866 made by the United States with the 5 civilized tribes.
Mm-hmm.
Consequently, nearly 600 black children, or Creek freedmen, miners as they were called, were granted 160 acres of land each. Hold on. Oh, shit. I'm getting palpitations in my heart. Give me a second. Whew, whew. I gotta read that again. Consequently, nearly 600 black children, or Creek freedmen miners as they were called, were granted 160 acres of land each.
Yeah, who them babies? Who are they?
Son,
Now, now when we're talking about my people, we're talking about crackheads, but we're not talking about Jeremiah Hamilton or Sarah Rector.
this
Mm-hmm.
was a mandatory step in the process of integration of the Indian Territory with Oklahoma Territory to form what is now the state of Oklahoma. Sarah's father, Joseph, was the son of John Rector, a Creek freedman. John Rector's father, Benjamin McQueen, was a slave of Riley Grayson, who was a Creek Indian. John Rector's mother, Molly McQueen, was a slave of Creek leader Opatholi Yaholo, who fought, this is some bullshit, who fought in the Seminole Wars and split with the tribe, moving his followers to Kansas. The parcel allotted to Sarah Rector was located in Glenpool, 60 miles from where she and her family lived. It was considered interior and fertile soil, not suitable for farming, with better land being reserved for white settlers and members of the tribe. The family lived simply but not in poverty. However, the $30 annual property tax on Sarah's parcel was such a burden that her father petitioned the Muscogee County Court to sell the land. His petition was denied because of certain restrictions placed on the land, so he was required to continue paying the taxes. To help cover his expense, in February 1911, Joseph Rector leased Sarah's parcel to the Standard Oil Company.
Hmm.
Because the family might not know, but the way that they was able to pay for Black Wall Street, I think his name was Barnum. Uh, they they were oil magnates out there. They was making bread from oil. It was melanated people who was filthy rich, okay, because they were in the oil business. Nobody talks about this. Anyway,
Hmm.
in 1913, the independent oil driller B.B. Jones drilled a well on the property which produced a gusher that began to bring in 2,500 barrels of oil a day. Rector began to receive a daily income, a daily income, a daily income, a daily income of $300 from the strike. The law at the time required full-blooded Indians, black adults and children who were citizens of Indian Territory with significant property and money to be assigned well-respected white guardians. Now I'm gonna go read that again because it might have missed people. Okay? The law at the time required full-blooded Indians, black adults and children who were citizens of Indian Territory with significant property and money to be assigned well respected white guardians. Thus, as soon as Rector began to receive this windfall, there was pressure to change Rector's guardianship from her parents to a local white resident named TJ or JT Porter, an individual known to the family. Rector's allotment subsequently became part of the Cushing Drumright oil field. In October 1930, Rector received royalties of $11,567. As news of Rector's wealth spread worldwide, she began to receive requests for loans, money gifts, and marriage proposals, despite the fact that she was only 12 years old. Given her wealth, the Oklahoma legislature declared her to be a white person so that she would be allowed to travel in first class accommodations on a railroad as befitted her position. So that's status that they talking here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a political term, right? Because they're telling you that even though visibly she wasn't a white woman, they changed her status on her paperwork and she was allotted these particular privileges that were afforded to a white classification. In 1914, an African American journal, the Chicago Defender, began to take an interest in Rector, just as rumors began to fly that she was a white immigrant who was being kept in poverty. The newspaper published an article claiming that her estate was being mismanaged by her family and that she was uneducated and had poor quality of life. This caused national African American leaders Booker T. Washington and W.B. Du Bois to become concerned about her welfare. In June of that year, a special agent for the NAACP, James C. Waters Jr., sent a memo to Du Bois regarding her situation. Waters had been corresponding with the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the United States Children's Bureau over concerns regarding the mismanagement of Rector's estate. He wrote of her white financial guardian. Is it not possible to have her cared for in a decent manner and by people of her own race, instead of by a member of a race which would deny her and her kind the treatment accorded a good yard dog? This prompted Du Bois to establish the Children's Department of the NAACP, which would investigate claims of white guardians who were suspected of depriving black children of their land and wealth. Washington also intervened to help the Rector family. In October of that year, she was enrolled in a children's school, a boarding school at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, headed by Washington. Upon graduation, she attended the institute. Rector was already a millionaire by the time she had turned 18. She owned stocks, bonds, a boarding house, businesses, and a 2,000-acre prime river bottomland.
Yo, you know how much land that is? What the fuck?
2,000 acres? Family, Black Wall Street was 40 acres. So the land allotment to one melanated person promised after slavery, allegedly, right? 40 acres, just one allotment is enough to build a city that can thrive and become the beacon of capitalism around the world. Just one allotment, right? She had 2,000 acres. At that point, she left Tuskegee and, with her entire family, moved to Kansas City, Missouri. She purchased a house on 12th Street that is still there and known as the Rector House. She soon married a local man, Kenneth Campbell. The wedding was a very private affair with only her mother and the bridegroom's paternal grandmother present. The couple had three sons before divorcing in 1930. Later life, Rector lived a comfortable life enjoying her wealth. She had a taste for fine clothing and fast cars. She was frequently ticketed by the police of the city for speeding. She hosted frequent gatherings at her home for the leading members of the nation's African American community but also was later remembered for sending her chauffeur to drive the children of the neighborhood to school. Her husband partnered in 1928 with the auto dealer Homer Roberts and moved to Chicago to open Roberts Campbell's Motors, the second African American owned auto dealership. New car sales faltered with the onset of the Depression and the venture soon closed. In 1934, Sarah married William Crawford. They owned a restaurant where they entertained the likes of Count Basie and Duke Ellington. She lost the majority of her wealth in the Depression, as did many wealthy Americans. Rector died on July 22nd, 1967, at the age of 65. Her remains were buried in the city cemetery of her hometown of Taft. I would love to see a movie on this.
So we just went from Jeremiah Hamilton to Sarah Rector. Both these, according to what you just said, Blue, she was living a better life than 90% of white women.
And she liked fast cars, yeah.
And she liked fast cars.
Yeah,
Now, on that Wikipedia, it shows her skin tone, doesn't it?
clearly.
She
Beautiful
looked dark.
melanated.
She looked dark skinned, don't she?
Yes, beautiful melanated little girl.
Okay, so this is the thing about the black Wi-Fi. You don't know the world. The only thing we know is this packaged reality that is being filtered to us about life. And like, again, I'm not saying that life is not difficult. However, these stories matter because it shows you that on some G shit, if you want it in America, you can get it. Jeremiah Hamilton got it. You never heard of him. That's then. I mean, Reginald Lewis is recent. People don't even talk about him.
At all.
Don't let these people take your genius and your innocence. Don't let them fill your head with ideals of that you can't succeed and you can't prosper. A system. There is a system. It is at work. And you can win if you know how to maneuver, if you know how to outsmart it. The system is there, it's designed. If you use it for what it is, that's how you become the most elite version of yourself. What would you be with no system? What would you be? Last time I checked, you put weights on the weight to build your body. When you do yoga, you're pushing your body to the limit.
Mm-hmm.
You're experiencing discomfort so you can get to the highest version of yourself. What happened to Black America to the point where now Black America is afraid of competition? America runs from competition. Black America says, you know what, I got denied by a loan. See, I told you racism exists. You got denied by one bank. It's 20, it's over 20 black ran banks in this country. Did y'all know that? Some of these people are dealing with assets of $500 million. Jeremiah Hamilton. This is all public record. And I got more though. I got more. I can take you older than Jeremiah Hamilton. I can take you to the 1700s and give you a name of a man that was whites was jealous of him because he had shit and he was held in high regard in the 1700s. Blue, you want to know his name?
Let's go.
Y'all want to know his name? His name is Austin Dabney. He was born 1765. Austin Dabney, Dabney. Austin Dabney.
I got him.
Now read his story, Blue. Listen to this story. If this is not fucking incredible, look at his beginning and then listen to his end. Go ahead, Blue.
Austin Dabney, 1765 to 1830, was an enslaved African American who fought against the British in the American Revolutionary War. He was a mulatto born in Wake County, North Carolina, sometime in the 1760s. He moved with his master, Richard Aycock, in Wilkes County, Georgia, in the late 1770s. When the Georgia militia was called up for the war, Aycock sent Dabney in his place. To address objections that Dabney was a slave, Aycock claimed he had been born free. Dabney became a soldier in Lieutenant Colonel Elijah Clark's unit. Shot in the thigh during the Battle of Kettle Creek on February 14, 1779, he recovered but was crippled for life. Gills Harris, a white soldier who lived in the area, cared for the injured man in his home. A close bond formed between Dabney and the Harris family. On August 14th,
Hold on. Hold on. The devil's in the details. This is 1779. He recovered but was crippled for life. A white soldier in Georgia, in the area, cared for the injured man in his home. A close bond formed between Dabney and the Harris family. In 1779? In Georgia? But go ahead. Okay.
yes, Dabney, oh, on August 14, 1786, after the death of Richard Aycock, an act of the legislature of the state of Georgia officially emancipated Dabney and authorized the state to pay Aycock's heirs £70 for Dabney's freedom.
Whoa.
Dabney was granted 50 acres in Washington County, becoming the only African American to be granted land by Georgia for his Revolutionary War service. He also received a state pension, an obligation later taken on by the federal government, starting at $60 a year in 1789 and rising to $96 in 1816. Dabney prospered. He
Hold on. Say that again, Blue. Say that little sentence again that you just said on the next paragraph. The first two words.
Dabney prospered.
Say it again.
Dabney prospered. He
Okay.
worked for and supported the Harris family, sending Gal's son William to Franklin College. Afterward, Dabney continued to support William financially while he successfully studied for the bar with attorney Stephen Upson. In 1835, William Harris named his son Austin Dabney in his benefactor's honor.
Wait. A white man named his fucking son after hold on, hold on. So the black man is supporting the white man's family financially.
Yes.
Okay. So the black man is supporting a white man so he can study for the bar. They're so close that the white man names his son after him
Mm-hmm.
in Georgia.
In Georgia.
In the 18th, this nigga getting a pension, Blue,
From from the Confederates.
from the Confederates. This ain't black excellence.
Let me
What's black excellence? Oh, go ahead though. Go ahead, bro. Dabney Prosper, man. Yeah.
When
Mhm.
Dabney was barred from the Georgia land lotteries, Upson arranged for the state legislature to grant him 112 acres in Walton County in 1821, resulting in resentment amongst some white residents.
Of course.
Lucien Lamar Knight wrote a chapter entitled The Story of Austin Dabney, which further shows the high regard in which Dabney was held. When Dabney rode to Savannah to collect his annual pension, along with his white neighbor, Colonel Wiley Pope, as they approached Savannah, Pope suggested that Dabney ride slightly behind, in accordance with the mores of the time, which Dabney did. However, when the two passed the house of Governor James Jackson, Jackson ran out to Dabney and invited him to be his house guest during their stay, while Colonel Pope had to stay in a public tavern. Hope was amused by this and often told a story.
Yo,
Austin,
do y'all hear what the fuck is happening here? No, seriously. Like, remove your anger and your personal L's that you've taken in your life to see what the hell's going on. If you can picture this in this white man says, you know what, bro, maybe you might want to ride in the back. Okay, cool, cool, cool. When they get to town, an important who they say comes out?
governor.
The governor. The governor comes out and is like, bruh, yo, the white boy had to stay in the tavern, bro.
Yeah, put your ass in the tavern.
Okay.
So Austin Dabney died in 1830 in Zebulon, Georgia. In 2010, with the cooperation of the Harris family, the Sons of the American Revolution held a dedication ceremony to unveil a new tombstone for Dabney and to mark the opening of the site to the public. According to an SAR member who participated in the ceremony, this was believed to be the first time that the grave of a black patriot in Georgia had received his honor. It's a lot to unpack. Dab.
I just talked about three people. And see, now look, you know what that does, Blue? What it does, it puts pressure on niggas. See, because if you didn't have a point of reference for any excellence, you could be like, all good, I don't know no better, boom, boom, boom. But when you dig in history and you pull from the records phenomenal blacks, that puts, see, phenomenal blacks are a flashlight on underachieving blacks. It makes you have, now what the fuck you gonna say? You're gonna reach for something. Oh, you probably a coon. Oh, you're probably a sellout. You probably did. I just gave you Jeremiah Hamilton. I just gave you Sarah Rector. I just went even further to Dabney, who was born a slave. He was born a slave, but he died with 100 fucking acres. And white residents at that time are like, what the fuck? How is this nigga living like this? My nigga, in the 1700s, that is very key. In the South, B.
Facts. Yeah, that's a hard sell. You know.
See, when you start, when we, bro, this can go on and on and on. We could go into black home ownership. We could go into black fucking George Washington Carver, or the patents that he had. Once you start digging up the 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 the, the real zenith of black excellence, it what it does is it puts pressure on niggas now.
Yeah, same way that Nipsey put pressure. You know, that was the light shining in the dark. All of the glitterati that was sitting in the front, the first few front rows of the funeral, telling you they look so minuscule in that building because they're looking on that stage that seemed super elevated at that. The fucking stage felt like it was like 200 feet tall. But because I was sitting on the floor, I'm looking at the stage. But I'm also looking at these supposed luminaries, and none of them had any shine, you know, because they're looking at that stage like, yo, you know, Black Sam is telling the story like, yo, we had to rub pennies together to get these properties. We didn't have it, but we went out and found it. Now here's these niggas sitting there that's loaded, feel me? And they don't have nothing to show for that. Like, they're not gonna get that type of send off. And that shit hit a lot of people at that event. No matter how much work they put in, numbers they put up, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna die and it's gonna be marred in controversy You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because that a new pinnacle had been set, a new bar had been raised, and the thing that people held up as valuable, the shit came out. Fool, it's gonna come out as fool's gold at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to put a whole lot of shit on the scale that's not gonna weigh out. It's not gonna balance out to nothing. Feel me? Fuck your album sales. That shit don't mean nothing at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't sell more than Michael Jackson, and they just crucified that nigga. So you don't have no works to speak of. If people don't love you like this,
Mm.
damn nigga, you gonna suck in death. You know what I'm saying? This shit gonna look corny. That's frightening to some people.
Mm.
So yeah, that level of exposure, you know what I'm saying? When you hold up the real, and I ain't talk we when I'm speaking about a real one, I'm talking about it in a different context than how somebody else might identify it. You know what I mean? When you hold up a real one against some shit that's fraudulent, you know what I mean? The contrast is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just look right through the fraudulent, like,
Mm.
fuck you been doing?
Mm.
Oh, you scared? Okay, I get it. Or you really don't want black excellence. You just like the way that shit looks on a hashtag or a t-shirt.
Because and black excellence is not a picture. It is not picture. It's a consistent thing. It's a behavior. It's something that you do when the camera's not looking. Bro, again, Jeremiah Hamilton was tugging with Cornelius Vanderbilt.
That's black excellence.
This is one of America's business icons, the Commodore.
It's a titan. Yeah.
Jeremiah Hamilton is he's on his radar. Who the fuck is Jeremiah Hamilton? And how is he just moving around $7 million, my nigga?
Mm.
You know what kind of money that is? And it's money now. So just think about it what it is then. Who the fuck are you?
And you snatched the land at a time when they said that what?
Hmm.
Melanated people, if your status ain't together, how can you own land if you property?
Hmm.
But they telling you, they giving you the switcheroo and all of these stories. They giving you all of the elements. He was melanated, or he was quote unquote black, or he was an ex-slave, or he was free, or he was indigenous, or we changed the status to white just because. They telling you the whole script, and this is going over people's heads.
Hmm. Terror Rector, it said the richest color girl. Black people have a tradition of ownership and money in this country. Don't let these people play you. See, you got to understand something. There's different types of form of dope, right? So we all have our favorite lecturers and shit. Now ask yourself, the people that you listen to, when you listen to them, do they make you want to get up and change your life in the morning? Because if not, what they're doing is you're feeding you are using another form of dope, yo. You just go from video to video to video to video, but it doesn't allow you to make a move. The reason why I wanted you to hear about Jeremiah Hamilton, this is over 100 something years ago. He's a fucking ghost in history. If he can do it, you can do it. Like I said, I'm not for the collective, and I don't have a problem saying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm for those bright individual blacks, and I ain't talking about celebrities neither, bro. I'm talking about people that's going on YouTube to learn how to code. I'm talking about people that's like, oh shit, we had a baby together. You know what? It might be smarter for us to work it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a person with a felony that doesn't come from a trust fund and puts in the work and all of a sudden is a master at life insurance. I'm not
Fact.
talking about celebrities. I'm talking about everyday black people that take it upon themselves to have courage to believe in themselves. that don't go around with the mindset of fucking white supremacy. Because the black people I'm talking about, you're too arrogant for that shit. I'm not talking about humble blacks. I'm talking about everyday, I'm for everyday, arrogant, confident black people that believe in their skills and believe in their ability and won't let no cracker or no conscious hustler to put their take their focus and their innocence and their genius and focus on bullshit. When they no, they got the black population at negative $1 by 2050. No,
Hmm.
everybody can't go. I'm not for everybody. I like exclusivity. The thing about supply and demand, when it's a lot of supply, it has no value to it. If everybody liked me, then I ain't shit. And I'm probably saying something that's hella agreeable.
Hmm.
It's better to have a niche, everything. Like Sade. Sade has had an amazing career and everybody don't fuck with her. That's perfect. You know how boo when you see somebody that like what you like, and you know if it's somebody banging Fela Kuti. Like, oh shit, you know about Fela?
Hmm.
It's it feel good. You know what I'm saying? It feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It felt good riding in the car when no one knew who Nip was, and I was banging the hell out shit. I'm slapping the shit out of Crenshaw. It felt great. Yo, who's that? I used to just put niggas on the nigga. Yo, this is the next nigga. This nigga is fire. This,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Marathon continues, marathon, all that shit, right? So the thing about it is if what you're listening to makes you feel comfortable, then that's confirmation bias. You're only listening to, yeah, confirm what I already believe. Why? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that. What I am trying to do is who if I can just give you a form of confirmation to be like, yo, the direction that you're going in, go that direction. My ministry is the same. Personal development. You don't owe me shit. You don't owe these niggas shit neither. Go your way, sis. Go ahead, open your salon. Go ahead and travel the world. Go ahead, bro. Open your goddamn mechanic shop, my nigga. Do whatever you want, my nigga. Listen to whatever music you want. You represent yourself. And if you get over the hump, the only time you should come back here is if your cup runneth over. But you don't gotta come back to have change over here. Because anything, put something in the babies. These adults ain't shit. They ain't gonna do nothing but die.
Hmm.
Fuck them. It's about the children. Let them catch them before this 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 Wi-Fi gets a hold of their innocence. So I gave you three different things. There's a woman in there. There's two men in there. They all come from circumstances. Was it hard there? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But the thing about it is, black people at that time, you were responsible. You put on for your family. You didn't put on for black people per se. It was about your family. Now that's the big difference of where we're at now. We talk community talk, we don't talk family talk. It's about the community, but not the family. You know what I'm saying? We're together as a community, but divided as a family. That shit is upside down. It's about you and the people who is in your space, yo. That's it. And if your cup runneth over, then you can give a little more, however you see fit. But only if your cup runneth over. But who's the people looking at you every day, motivating you, pushing you? Yo, you mock out, you ride out, you might ride out with them. You don't owe me shit.
Hmm.
We can say what's up in traffic. That's it. You don't owe me shit. Nothing. Nigga, go get your win, my nigga. Go get your win. Go be fucking great. So history could talk about you so they could stop talking about goddamn Malcolm X all day. Need some replacements. This shit is sickening at this point. Who's the new niggas? Where you at? And stop being scared of black people to where you don't challenge them. I'm not scared of niggas. We need challenge. I'm challenging that shit. And it ain't gotta be me. Who's the new black woman though? Who's the new black man? Tired of seeing these niggas' faces. Where's the young sister with some fucking improvements in the hair game? She need to be heard.
Oh no, they got her.
You know? She need
I
to be
just
heard, man.
video one today. They out there, they doing their thing.
You know? The young black dude in tech. They need to be heard. The chest, they need to be heard. And people need to support that shit so they can be the legends and then protect them. Keep them away from the Wi-Fi so their innocence can flourish and their imagination can flow. And they can be something. Give them the freedom that Mark Zuckerberg has to create. Mark Zuckerberg does not have to worry about white people. He could just create, yo. He's not sitting there saying, "Oh yes, it's for white people, my people, my people." No, he's thinking about himself. And he became a billionaire because he solved a billion problems and connected the world. Give a black child that same opportunity. Give them the option to want to be to deal with philanthropy. Give them the option. Don't force that shit down their throat. Well, you got to help the projects. Never gonna make it out. The project's gonna kill them. Like we saying, that's the truth. Projects just killed Nipsey Hussle. Whether that was organic, whether he took money from the government, nigga still did it. Doesn't matter. Still did it. Nigga ain't say no.
Look, Malcolm X killer, right? Did 44 years, right? They say that that's somebody you couldn't touch behind the wall, right? Because he put in that work. He's a real one, as they say, right? So the real ones get grace and favor in a whole different way, right? They're untouchables. They have a cover on them that a nigga wouldn't dare penetrate, right? So he's home now. They say he be walking all around New Jersey.
Wow.
Right? So they wasn't gonna touch him behind the wall 44 years, and they ain't touching him now. And he's world, and he killed Malcolm X. So
wow.
Here you go. If he did it for the government, then the people knowingly and unwittingly are allowing someone who killed your prince for the government to walk around, right? He paid one of a hell of a debt to society for being a government informant. He had to lay down for 44 years. Or if he didn't, and he was the member of an organization, right? Then he's so tough, and the organization is so much respected, of course, that y'all saying, you know what? I'm gonna let this one go. You know what I'm saying? So this nigga has afforded the right to still be on this planet in 2019, the limited black people have, and he took your leader out of here, right? In the 60s. And he don't have no solution, but he down here sucking up air still. Right? As I often say, you know, and this is not throwing a curveball at my guy, because I fuck with my dude, right? But how is Freeway Ricky Ross still alive? So, I mean, if it was really an issue amongst the people, someone who perpetuated chemical warfare that impacted the lives of millions, right? And we got third, fourth generation crackheads and crack babies. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if he embodies that, then crack is still very much alive because it lives in him.
Mm.
I met people on Skid Row when I was feeding them, and I asked them how long they've been on drugs, and they told me that they used to buy work from Freeway.
Mm.
They've been on drugs for 30 plus years,
Mm, mm.
right? So the shit that we glorify is allowed to flourish in our community. So we glorify niggas who put in work, murderers, right? We glorify hustlers, right? We hold it up, we herald the shit, we hoist it up. It's exalted. It don't matter who you killed. It don't matter what you hustle. Feel me?
Mm.
As long as you occupy that position, you're gonna be lauded and applauded in this culture that we belong to. And chances are nothing's gonna happen to you, but let you want to do something for your people, your ass is dead.
Mm.
Your ass is dead. And as I've seen it since the 60s, goddamn it, you're gonna die at the hand of your own people.
Mm.
And I don't want to hear about if it was a government informant or nothing. The minute a nigga pick up a piece of crack, he works for the government. So we talking government informants,
Mm.
we talking governments now.
How about that?
We talking government, we talking informants and nigga snitch, nigga work for the government. Oh, and you don't? And you don't?
Mm.
The minute you picked up a piece of work, you drew a line in the sand. You cut yourself off from the people in the collective immediately because you got to defend yourself against any known nigga, any adversary. You don't know who it is or what they're gonna look like, and you're in competition automatically for this corner that your mama pay rent. So everybody's your enemy.
Mm.
You don't have no friends. You
Mm.
contracted immediately to say, you know what? You know what come with this? I gotta take a nigga head off if he try me.
Mm.
There's no one or two ways around that. It's written law, right? It's kill or be killed. You dig what I'm saying? For a piece of coin. So if I'm telling you you can get 10 times that coin by learning Bitcoin,
Mm.
what's the problem? Right? Why is that word falling on deaf ears? Why is that not being translated? Because you told me it's the bag by any means necessary. I'm showing you an easy way that you don't gotta look over your shoulders. Nigga ain't gonna be running up on you trying to take your head off, right? And there's no ceiling on what you can earn. So why is those options not attractive to our children? Why are they always constantly going towards the thing that's gonna either put them in a motherfucking coffin or put them in a cage?
Mhm.
Why is that so attractive to Black America?
The reticular activating system. Remember what it does, bro? It's a filter. So if you add on Bruce Lipton's research about the biology of belief, at this point, if it's not evil shit, it cannot penetrate the black household. And I'm saying this because we like to judge black people from bottom up. So I'm not trying to hear, oh, not all black people. Because when we talk about black life, we're talking about the bottom up. When we're like, oh, we're suffering and we're struggling, we're talking about the bottom up. You're not talking about productive niggas. You're not talking about those that have an ambition out this world that don't give a fuck, that's not gonna take no for an answer. You're not talking about them. You're talking about people that can't get over the hump. Oh, it's always been a war on us. There's some niggas that's gonna disagree with you on that. They don't know what you're talking about. They can't relate, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't relate. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about the struggle, when people are talking about the struggle, you're not talking about Candace Owens. You don't like her. You're talking about someone more from the bottom. And this is the fact about America, bro. This is how sweet America is. At the bare minimum, you can do absolutely nothing in America. You can do everything wrong and still wind up with a car, a woman, and a place to stay. that same behavior that you would do here that would let you get shit like that, in Africa, you'll be dead. In Brazil, you'll be dead. In Asia, you'll be dead. You'll starve to death.
No, see, this is where we got to challenge. Somebody in the chat said our magnet was broken when we left our original land. We don't connect or relate to each other. I just got finished explaining to you. I don't know if you came in late. I don't know where you come from either. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that come from other places seem to only have this narrative about us. And I can't even say post slavery. I'm going to say post 70s when the slavery program began. Okay?
Mm,
Because in the hundreds, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and some parts of the 60s, this was not the conversation amongst melanated people.
right.
They were getting still over the hurdle of Reconstruction and Jim Crow and all of that. But when nobody talking about no slavery shit, because those people have bounced back because segregation forced them to be together and work together and see eye to eye, right? They had too many options. So
Mm,
Papa was a Rolling Stone,
mm,
you know what I'm saying? And different shit like that. Integration broadened those options and it became a lot thinner. So instead of the money hitting off the wall, you know what I'm saying? When you move that wall back, that home run zone, it becomes a lot harder when it's no longer 200 feet to the fucking wall, but now it's 2,000 feet. So we stop hitting home runs.
mm,
You understand what I'm saying?
mm,
Whoever's in the chat, right? Our magnetism got diluted by our options. You understand that?
mm,
And now black people are hindered because they have too many options. You understand? And they're not moving on the right ones. They have too many options and that not moving on the right ones. They're very marginalized to one or two. It's either rap or go to the fucking league or
mm.
sling crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. You got two out of a quadrillion, and those are the ones that are being glorified. Come on now. Whose
Mm.
fault is that at the end of the day? When are we going to take our own personal stock to say, look, well, if we set the precedent to say, you know, these are our options, or these are our options, or choose better options, you know what I mean? We're not talking to the children about coding. We're not talking to the children about crypto. We're not talking to the children about anything in the tech space. All of these are optionals.
Mm.
You understand? It took Kobe. We wasn't talking to the children about becoming healers. We wasn't talking to them about picking up anything that our ancestors put down, dusting the shit off, and it's like, oh, you could. This could be gold too, you know. So I do want to correct and scale that back. Like I said, since my trip out west, I seen some things, and when I seen gangbangers run up on me with the face tats, and shit like that, and them niggas was like, yo, I'm on my third intracellular chelation because I'm taking these Sabi herbs. There's a lot that goes with that conversation that I really don't think that they want the public to have. And a documentary of that size and that proportion is going to activate something and the people's reticular. Right, you finished the session. The reticular. Come on, what's the shit called?
Reticular activating system.
Going to activate something in the reticular activating system that is, you know, is different. I'm seeing a lot of different things. Saw a lot of different things out there. You feel me?
Mm,
Seen a lot of different things. I really seen the effect of what this brother represented, you know what I'm saying, and his ability in his lifetime. I don't know if will ever be duplicated again. You know, to get the pedigree of people's attention that he was able to garner, and make an interest that yesterday to them was not interesting,
Hmm.
it's a lot of power.
Yeah.
Power.
But see, this the thing too though, bro. This is the sad thing too. Um, I'm just doing comparisons in terms of culture. Like European males get to live out their mythos. They become old men. Phenomenal, phenomenal black people gotta die early. And it ain't just them dying. They just don't die. Their death has to mean something for the rest of black people. That shit's fucked up. Why can't niggas live?
Hmm.
It we have actually created Jesus energy because we need young niggas to die for us to start having conversations.
Oh, that's a fact.
Mike Brown gotta die. Trayvon Martin gotta die. I don't care who's the killer. It's the same motif though. Why these young niggas gotta die for the rest of black culture? I'm already upset that the elders curved their life and put their life on hold to try to teach niggas, and niggas don't do shit but go back to sleep when they die. That's such a slap in their face. They should have been on the beach some fucking where.
Hmm.
Why does young niggas gotta die? Why can't a nigga get gray in his beard, Joe? Now we want to have a conversation about the streets and why a nigga gotta die. Warren Buffett gets to be old, man. Charles Munger gets to be old. Einstein gets to be old. Socrates and Aristotle get to be old.
Hmm.
But Malcolm X and Martin Luther King wasn't even 40.
Mm-hmm.
Why niggas got to die? What is it? This is the epitome of death culture. The fact that the greater you are, you can't be here that long, nigga. You gotta die. And your death a is supposed to be inspiring for these people. It's not life that inspires niggas, it's death.
Hmm. I mean, it's
Death.
culture.
That you're the primary deity of black Americans is a person that had to die. That's fucked up.
Often tragic.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not even people that the old man. Like we can't even get no shamans. We can't even really get no old 100-year old mystic niggas because they gotta fucking die. But guess what? I don't want no young niggas dying for me to change my life, for me to be creative.
Right. Look, the people they'll be like, Farrakhan official, he ain't died yet. Yeah, that's how crazy this shit is. They gauge your realness, right, or your penetration factor, or your threat factor by the fact that you haven't died a gruesome death or an attempt at one. So they like, son, until we see a nigga brain hang out, he couldn't have been that dangerous. I'm like, damn, what about grace and favor?
Man,
What about grace and favor? Like, what if, I signed my contract before I got here and it should say I'm supposed to live till I'm 89.
man, I'm putting that energy out there right now. I don't need no young black boy or girl to die for me to get it. If I don't get it, then I gotta come back again and try it again. Don't curve your life for me or my bloodline trying to wake us up. If we sleep, we sleep. Nigga, you go ahead and you live your motherfucking life. I'm putting that energy out there right now. I don't want nobody dying for me. No symbolic gestures, no symbolic deaths. I'm straight, my nigga. I'm cool. Because while you're curving your life for me, what about what you could have been? What if that unused potential, that unused genius, yo? No, man. Nipsey Hussle shouldn't have to die for gangs to, man. So you don't know what a 60-year-old version of him looks like because they keep having to die for niggas. Black America needs to get their shit together so your great people can fucking be great. So Corinne Gaines ain't gotta die for you niggas. No, man. Now everybody that thought that shit was real, Corinne Gaines, have you checked on her son? Do you even know who he's with? Where's that girl's son at right now? And the way she was talking, she got it from you niggas. I know exactly where she got that from. Where's her fucking son? That girl did not have to die, but she was hooked up to that black Wi-Fi though. Fucked up, man. Now another one, Nipsey Hussle. Now another one. And it's gonna be more. Black men and black women who haven't even really spread their wings yet. We're gonna take on this same shit over and over again. And gonna end up getting a broken heart because a nigga can't be saved. It's not designed to be saved because niggas are good for business. That heart disease, them homicides, the dysfunctional shit, the child support, the upside down families, that's part of America's nigger factory. Taj Tariq Bey has a lecture on YouTube about America's nigger factory. It ain't supposed to be fixed.
Yeah, what's the name? Got a series. It's your boy from Arrested Development. Speech. Yeah, Google that. Shout out to Jason O. God produced that, but yeah, Nigger Factory. Check that out.
Nigger factory. It's not supposed to be fixed, boo. It's a system. Just like they say white supremacy is a system and you can't penetrate it or change it. The nigger factory is its own system. It's not supposed to be fixed. It's a system that keeps going. It keeps capitalism running. It's not supposed to be fixed. You leave it alone and go create your own shit. Leave it alone. That's your feelings and fantasy. Oh, my people. Oh, I'm trying to save my people. Why do your people need to be saved? Why does a 35-year-old dude need to be saved from what? Himself? What are you saving him by? You're not greater than Elijah Muhammad. I'm just saying. So go live your life. You know what I'm saying? And that's real shit. That's a prayer, my nigga. I don't want no people dying for me, bro. I'm straight. If I can't force myself to have the will to change my life and go to the next level, then maybe I just am not fit, and maybe natural selection should handle its business. But there's a little black girl somewhere in this country, and I don't want her curving her life for my son. It's my job to teach my son. I don't want her curving her genius life. I don't want nobody like you or Nipsey. I don't want fucking Supernova Slime dying. I don't need Derek Grace dying. Y'all niggas gonna be great. What the fuck? And if these niggas don't get it, then listen, they don't get it. But it's sad, and that's the epitome of deaf culture. I would like my greats to have gray in their beard. I would like them to make it to the bro. Man is old. Like you reach your manhood old where everything just settles in. We can't even reach that shit, my nigga.
Lil Rashid did a lecture in LA, and he was speaking on Sirius cycle. He said that, you know, in the ancients, the elders say you're still a child until you're 49. Technically, you're not considered an adult until you have you know, your 50th, because that's that Sirius cycle. You know what I'm saying? Um, if you were speaking to Raku, he would tell you it's 42. It's the half year of the Uranus cycle, which is 84 years. So you're not an adult till you're 42. And Dogon society is 49 based on the Sirius rotation. So, you know what I mean? Like in our world and things of that nature, they'll say it's to you 40, you know, where all of these factors speak of you getting upwards, you know what I'm saying, into your 40s, until you're really considered a man or grown, an adult.
Hmm,
You know, interesting.
hmm,
And our the lightning, you know, the lightning rods, the sparks in our community. And some people say, you know, they had too much energy, so they burnt out quick and died young. James Dean shit. I'm like, I get it. You know what I mean? But, you know, I think the world would be a better place with a 70-year-old Malcolm X and a 90-year-old Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit would just be different. So we can't help but, I think they call it, you know, we fantasizing. So we can't help but fantasize.
mhm. Yeah, I'm Blue. So what we going into 2020. Um, the next 15 years, so I'll be 50 in 15 years. The next 15 years, beloved, are crucial years because it's dealing with the dark age of information, bro. The reason why I'm holding on to the reason why we have to let our black people be great, because the further they push, that right there is going to change the culture. We have to take the handcuffs off each other, yo, and let people go flow and don't have no matter what, bro, we're still Christian at heart, my nigga. We believe in Savior. I don't know what it is about that. We need a Savior. When we're talking about leadership, that's Savior. We need to be saved.
Oh, this is a fact. We're very Christian. I had no idea how Christian Muslims was. I had no idea how Christian Moors was. I had no idea how Christian Rastas was. You feel me?
Mhm.
Until I started getting them late night phone calls and, you know, niggas screwing their face up at me because I dared make comparisons to our brother Nipsey, who had this symbolic sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, aligned with the numbers and all this other shit that people is telling me coincides with, you know, all of this messianic energy. So I'm like, do we live in a Christian society or don't we? Yeah or nah? And I don't think that we can wiggle out of that. As Buddha King said, we live under a Jesus Christ narrative. So if we do, and this is, what do they say this is? April 24th, 2019. You can't wiggle out of that. So yeah, we all, if you're living under the Jesus Christ narrative, yes, people have a savior complex
Okay,
by,
look, dude,
by
look,
default.
I'm look. I'll just add to this. So, but this comes down to confidence, right? Someone in the chat just said, "But we are being colonized, still being colonized spiritually, right?" If you're a spirit having a human experience, how can someone colonize your spirituality? Think about what you're saying. And this is part of the reason why the black Wi-Fi is the way it is. We talk our way into death. I was just watching something by the master C. Freeman L. And
Yes.
he was talking about don't even fathom poverty. It's a hard thing, but don't even let your mind go there. Why would you out of your mouth say, but we're being like we talk ourselves into pain and destruction. If you just sit and listen to niggas talk up and about themselves, it's always from a negative debt perspective. Oh, we're being colonized. Oh, this is happening to us. Oh, that doesn't even make sense though. How can your spirituality be colonized if your spirit first?
Right.
You spend the majority of your existence dead, physically dead. You're only here for a blink of an eye. No one could colonize your spirituality. Are you kidding? Don't Religion is not spirituality. That's human shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's information that deals with your stay here. Has nothing to do with metaphysics. Has nothing to do with what I used to hear from Reverend Valentine. Has nothing to do with the information I hear Brother Panic talk about my subconscious mind. How can you colonize my spirit? And what the fuck is a spirit?
Hmm.
This is, you feel me? In all areas, that's that savior energy. Yo, not only do we have a deaf culture, we have a deaf tongue too.
Yeah.
Everything niggas say about themselves is in a always in a karate stance. Oh, they're doing this to us. Oh, they're doing this to me. Oh, see, they don't want us. They, nothing empowering, nothing. And the sad thing about that is there's children coming up in a generation that that won't inherit positive thinking. We keep talking about the wealth gap, that the black baby boomers are not passing wealth down to their children or whatever. Well, this generation right now is not going to pass positive thinking down to the youth. You're going to program them to talk with a dead language. But when
Hmm.
you mention white people, though, it's always from empire. Even when you say police brutality, that's a compliment. What you're saying is they're brutal. That's a compliment to people that have a culture of violence. They're like, oh, perfect. I'm doing my job. It's what we do. Good PR. That's not grace and favor, yo. Grace and favor, all that energy, you take it back to yourself. The same way you sell a sack, get the money, re-up, sell it, get the money, re-up. You continue like that, and hopefully you get a brick. That's what you do to with your energy and your frequency. You keep reing up and putting it back into yourself. Don't get these niggas nothing. For fucking white supremacy. The strange they people. I don't know who they is. Don't give these people anything.
All money in,
All money in, all spirit in, all energy in, all confidence in. What the hell? Don't give these people a red cent, man. Ain't you tired already? You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you expire because you're not dealing with inspiration. Why you always talking about these people? Where's you know what's crazy, Blue? I never I never anytime I'm talking like this or I'm talking, people automatically, oh, you want to be white. I'm like, yo, I never even think about white people. Like, what? I live in a black bubble. I don't even see white people at all. I'm so used to black people having shit. It's odd when I come around people that don't, blacks that don't want nothing. I'm like, damn, because my life is filtered with black people that are making moves. I never once think of whites, bro. I think of Robert Smith, the fact that he's worth $4.4 billion, and and the white boy has had a head start economically. And I'm like, wow, he acquired that in one generation. I'm optimistic about that right there. I'm optimistic about Jay-Z. The fact that he accomplished that in 25 years. That's a hell of an accomplishment. That's a hell of a come up. I got to watch it too. Even if he hustled from 2013 to 2019, hell of a come up.
Hello.
I'm inspired by that, right? So I'm not, I don't need a savior, and I'm not going to use that language. So I forgot the person's name that said that. Don't talk like that. Your spirit is not being colonialized. You know how much swag you be giving white people. They'll talk about white people so fucking much that you give them swag. Y'all the reason why they walk around the way they do because you keep talking about them like that.
Right.
You did this to us, and you did this, and you did. Yo, you're just bigging these motherfuckers up. So check this out. My name Ken Billion. If you're gonna be PR for me then. Go promote me. Promote Blue Pill. Promote the Red Pill. If y'all gonna keep promoting crackers, then why don't y'all promote the niggas then? Because you talk about white people every fucking day. Promote niggas. If you're gonna be good PR, stop saying white supremacy. Blue Pill got shit for sale. Sell his shit. Oh, you ain't gonna do that. You're gonna charge him though. But you're gonna keep promoting these white folks for free every day, helping their mythos, helping their legend at your expense. That's trash.
Hmm.
No, sir.
I know that's right.
Garbage.
All day.
Garbage.
Moses.
You bet not. What? Talk about black women like that. The way you talk about with the white man, yo, if you talked about the black woman like that, oh my God. You give the white man attributes he ain't even do. He don't even have.
Me?
Yeah, he was surprised. Like, yo, what? Wow.
Me? I did that. Shit. Have you George Jefferson walk? Now they George Jefferson walk.
Hell yeah, that nigga hella. He like, damn, I thought I was a piece of shit, but listening to y'all, the white man, man.
Who this white man? I want to meet him.
No, man, nah. It's not a good look, yo. It's not a good look for the black psyche. You know what I'm saying? So the black America, I'm telling you, we try everything else. Try this. The black America can bridge the wealth gap. It will not take 200 something years. You could do it in one generation, in 30 years, if you change your confidence. If you change your confidence, that will change your behavior. That will change the way you approach money. That'll change the way you approach government, family, everything. If you change your confidence, that wealth gap will disappear in one generation. That's 30 years, yo. That's 30 years. If niggas discipline themselves, have tunnel vision, take their emotions out of the game, and approach this shit from the neck up, logically, the generation gap will disappear in 30 years. You won't be worried about getting reparations from the past because you'll be creating reparations right now for these young niggas coming up under you. You'll have life insurance, you'll have annuities, you'll have trusts, and your death will be an actual benefit to people around you. So your son don't gotta be 21 years old and he doesn't have no stimulus to start his life. One generation, yo. One generation. This whole shit. You can change it. And the thing about it is, shut the fuck up about the change, though. Niggas talk too much. Be quiet. Be quiet. Power is quiet. You don't got to keep kicking and screaming about the system. Shut the fuck up and just move. Don't say a word. Don't say what you're doing. Don't say nothing. Don't say I'm not fucking with nobody no more. Don't say nothing. Create the vision board amongst you and your tribe. And when you see niggas in the street, just give a head nod. Let people know that you on that shit too. Quiet gang. The same way as a Zionist. Do you know what Zionists are doing? Do you know what Zygmunt Dobrinsky and all them motherfuckers are doing? You know what George Soros and them is? No, they quiet with their shit, yo. Be fucking quiet. Oh, we need change. We need this. We need that. We need. Let other people go do that. You be stealth, yo. You and your tribe move quiet. The bunch of spooks who sat by the door. Don't say a word. Control your emotions. And then all of a sudden, in 100 years, you're not going to be here, but your children will. It will in 100 years. Nick, they'll look up, and now your family's worth 12 million, 15, 16 million. Now you can make a move. You and your man, his downline done did the same thing. Now y'all could put together money. Now you can do mining. Now you got realty, all that shit. Y'all bilingual, so y'all can do business with the Spanish. Shit like that, man.
All that shit. All that
You
shit.
know, all that, all that. But shut the fuck up, though. We really want everything is entertainment with niggas. That's not you. So you even the revolution is entertainment.
Facts. All them bullshit.
Like what? You want to see it on TV? You know, hey, Blue. You know how some people be in they bills and I call this what about seeism? Oh, no, not what about I don't seeism. Niggas always talking about I don't see this, I don't see this, I don't see other groups of people doing this. Nigga, you ain't never there. You ain't nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see this and I don't see that. You're not supposed to. Power is quiet. Command told you that in Scandal. Power is quiet. Move quiet. But in all jokes aside, in one generation, Blue, a generation is 30 years. That's a long time, my nigga. You have babies right now. In 30 years, they're all 30. You got a whole clan of people. In one generation, you can bridge the wealth gap. You can cut it down. The difference between the whites in wealth and blacks in wealth is a behavior thing. Blacks don't have economic behavior. They don't know money. That's that's the reason for the wealth gap. It's not because of slavery. Niggas get money. What you mean? Niggas had money in the 80s with all the crack. No one brought the brownstones. Blue, is that a fact?
They had millions with the
Millions.
they had billions. They had bees with the dope. Upwards of collectively maybe hundreds of millions, hundreds of M's. That cocaine, and nobody bought anything, and the brownstones were $1. You feel me? So I mean, there has to be a universal weight that goes along with that. The fact that you assisted and helping decimate that community, and then you didn't buy it up when it was dirt poor, but you don't see the value in it. How can you? You know what I'm saying? If that's the place that you trap out of,
mm,
you know, and you bought out the Korean sneaker store, and you bought out the motherfucking the Jewish clothing store before you pushed your mama anywhere. And that's what you said. You picked the work up because you seen her working 2 or 3 jobs, but you made the late nights where she comes home at night unprotected even harder for her because you assisted in making another zombie on the block and you got enemies. And
mm.
she don't know that you hustled. So she's a sitting duck. So how would you doing it for mama if you put her in more danger than before? I just want niggas to think. You did it because your
Activating system.
reticular activated system, you know what I'm saying, is playing that game in your head where you gotta have shit that you don't have because you feel something is missing and you don't know what it is. But by God, you're not gonna be willingly, you know, willing to find out, you know, what you missed out on by not having what you never knew that you never had.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I don't get the pedigree. I don't get the pedigree of sex that I desire. So maybe these Jordans are gonna change my trajectory. I seen a
Mhm.
lot of ugly niggas who weren't supposed to get no box, right? Busting down Tatianas because all of a sudden they was able to acquire the trappings, the shiny shit, right? That people with low morals and all types of other shit is attracted to,
Mhm.
like moths to a flame.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And then the exception became the rule, right? Because it's not just like the revolutionary alpha was replaced by the pimp and the hoe or the pimp and the hustler, right? The alpha female was replaced as well.
Mhm.
Mm?
Mhm.
And now, what was the exception is now the rule in society, especially with the females,
Mhm.
right? And all the people got to do is take a step back and look, right? Take an honest look at what you see.
Mhm.
Is that the bottom or is that the top? Is that the pinnacle? Is that Claire Huxtable?
Mhm.
Because I know the shit that was compelling me to want to grow up. It wasn't when I seen Angel. Remember Angel all the way back in the days on TV? It was a movie called Angel. She was a schoolgirl in the daytime and she sold box at night. Who remember Angel? How old is y'all?
Mhm.
But when I seen Claire Huxtable and I was 12, nigga, I wanted to be 18 because I wanted to go to Hillman and see if she worked there because I was gonna push up and shoot my shot because I had nothing to lose.
Mhm.
This woman activated my pubescent hormones at the time. She was responsible for a lot of growth. She was
Mhm.
such a fucking lady.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, was did she represent the bottom or did she represent the top, or is she somewhere in the middle? Like, I need some feedback on this.
Claire Huxtable, that energy,
And I liked it. I liked it. Diana Ross too. Until Mike lifted her skirt, and I couldn't
that's
look at him anymore. But he,
that's 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 she represents the top down. Claire Huxtable represented intellect. She wasn't selling sex.
right,
Well, if you look at her exchanges with Heathcliff, Claire was always talking from a place. She would use parables.
yeah,
She was always using intellect. If you really look at it, Cliff Huxtable was very passive. He was a little soft. Claire was very firm. She was selling intellect. So that was from top down. Now remember, before Claire was Florida Evans. Claire was a total 360 from Florida Evans. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Fact.
Florida wasn't independent. She couldn't drive for real. You know what I'm saying? She was all, she was timid. Claire wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It was different. You know. Um. Yeah. So that's from the top down. You know what I'm saying? That's from the top down.
Mm.
And this is the thing. When I'm saying top and bottom and shit like that, I'm only talking about behavior. I'm not talking about class per se in the European concept of if you're born into some type of monarchy or lords of the land, if you're born into those kind of clans, then everybody outside of that is on the bottom. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about the top, meaning that they're practicing a particular behavior that's what's making them at the top. So Claire, that's man, she was very accomplished. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? She was very accomplished. Now, the interesting thing about her accomplishment, she was very accomplished with having multiple children, though. So that tells you about work ethic. Then that tells you about drive and focus. You know what I'm saying?
She was bad as fuck.
She
That
was
ain't.
bad as fuck, and understand something too. This is important. Claire Huxtable has an archetype that no white woman has.
Mm.
Who's the white Claire Huxtable that had a career and was able to have family like that? Not who? Roseanne?
Mm.
Who's the white Claire Huxtable? See, the thing about it is, Black America have had so many blueprints to make shit pop, yo. There's really no excuse.
Yeah, I mean, especially in terms of family, because you make a good point. Like, what white actress in a TV setting role was the model mother per se? And y'all niggas wasn't alive for Happy Days, and I don't think they remember all that. Like in a modern context,
The,
post, because I was gonna say Sybil Shepherd when they was on Moonlighting, you know what I'm saying? But you don't really see white women in the role as mothers raising children like that unless you see the dysfunctional shit like Married with Children and Roseanne and you know what I'm saying? This real Gnostic, blue collar looking shit. You know what I'm saying? But where's the relatable type of situation?
she
You know
was
what I'm
a
saying?
she was a phenomenal archetype. But again,
Golden
Black
Girl? Nah, that don't.
Nah, man, hell nah. Golden Girls, that's some. First of all, Golden Girls, one of the old ladies is a freak. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Nah, 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 nah. Clara Huxtable. You know what I'm saying? Because Clara Huxtable is what white women were they were trying to pursue a dynamic like Claire's to have to have balance with their husband like that and to be able to go pursue whatever job or whatever career choice they wanted. Cliff Huxtable was very supportive of his wife.
Yeah.
She was not just a mother. So when you're looking at the Margaret Sangers, the white women in the early 20s, they just didn't want to be mothers. They wanted to have another voice. They wanted to have a different level playing field with their husband. Clara Huxtable, that archetype under and I'm a TV watcher when I was coming up. There was no white Clara Huxtable. You had Roseanne. Look at the white women moms on TV. You had Roseanne. You had Peg Bundy. You had Marge Simpson. You know what I'm saying? Full House didn't even have a mother. Um, Uh, growing pains? Nah, yo. There's no white Claire Huxtable.
Mm.
Now, you would have thought that would have produced a generation of Claires. And you kind of did HBCUs and shit like that. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But how is Little Kim's hardcore album cover more influential than Claire?
Mm.
And I'm saying that is because we have a celebrity culture. But again, Blue, our culture is not told from the top down. It's told from the top up. Because if you tell the culture from the top down, then you have to talk about Colin Powell. Niggas ain't gonna like that shit, bro. Now, power, what kind of power Colin Powell had, I don't give a fuck what niggas think. That's not a puppet. You understand what Colin, like, what the fuck? That's Colin Powell.
He was a Joint Chiefs, right?
Bruh. You see, and if you tell the culture from the top down, you have to talk about billionaire Reginald Lewis.
Right. I just seen more footage on him today in that documentary. The swag was up.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's told from the bottom up. If you talk about it from the top down, niggas ain't going. Because anybody that doesn't fit the archetype of what they're used to hearing in their confirmation bias, he's a coon, he's an agent. You gotta talk about Herman Cain. You know how successful Herman Cain is, my nigga? Like, it's like, yo, like, again, Ben Carson is a surgeon, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? Like, because of his politics, we'll dismiss the fact, like, this is not what you would want your son to be like.
They don't want to have no conversations around Herman Cain, Vernon Jordan. They have Vernon Jordan on the documentary today too. Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? So because of that, and Blue, this ties into the Morningham report that you read. You read the Morningham report 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It ties into it. People automatically, yo, there's a let's mention this right here. First of all, the average person doesn't have slave books. So the only reference they have from slavery is movies. That's fact. Okay. The person in the house, how else are you getting blankets out? How else are you getting extra food? Who's bringing that to you? There's this concept of the field slave, like the field slave is real. But when but every time someone told about someone running away, it wasn't the house slave that told, it was the field slave. The person from the inside was always bringing shit outside. How did a nigga get an extra blanket? Where you got it from? Where'd you get the intel from about what's going on in the dynamic? The person inside of the system, inside of the house. We heard Malcolm X talk about the field nigga and the house nigga, and we ran with that like that was just the total truth. That's not the total truth. Because as above, so below. Apply the same shit right now. Niggas on the inside is trying to bring shit back. Nipsey Hussle was on the inside. He's meeting with Gary Vee. He's meeting with rich people. He's meeting with real estate investors. He's getting the information, coming back and trying to give it to niggas.
Right. So he was spooky.
Feel me? So based off that Morningham report, we have a misconception of blacks that want to want to do it through college or whatever. We think they're sellouts because they don't have the mentality that we have. You know what I'm saying? So if they start talking about accountability, oh, they're a coon. If they don't co-sign black dysfunction, oh, they're a coon. And then the culture is so fucked up. This is the weird shit, Blue, and then I'll let you chime in. The culture is so out of line, but yet it does not want you to say anything about it. If you say something as foul as niggas be, here you go bashing. They love that word bash. So you have a culture that is eating itself, and you can't check it or challenge it because you're bashing it.
You can't
You know
speak
what I'm
on it. The niggas will go to an entire battle and hear niggas, right? If there's 6 million ways to die, niggas they'll rap about 6 million and 1 ways to kill you,
saying?
right? But there you get up there and be like, yo, damn, this is a fucking death culture. We're sitting up here and listening to niggas rhyme about shooting other niggas' mothers without a beat, calling that shit hip hop. And it's the pinnacle of our performance because we're utilizing all seven liberal arts to do that shit. So
Mm.
this is the premier place where we show up to utilize the quadrivium and the trivium and all of our logistical, logical, mathematical, astrological abilities to tell a nigga that I'm willing to go to the limps because of I don't like something about you because it's the dozens, right? I'm gonna kill your mama. And the niggas is in the crowd is like, ooh, oh son, he bodied you 3-1, right?
Mm.
That's what we belong to. That's what we belong to. That's what we uphold. I can't even listen to music anymore
Mm. Mm.
after Nick. I can't. It's hard.
Mm.
Like that shit sounds so retarded now. So retarded.
Mm.
I can only listen to his catalog. I don't even want to listen to none of the old niggas no more. Like they just corny to me. You
Mm.
feel me? It seems all upsetting. Let me see. Is there anybody else that I listen to in these past?
Mm.
Like J. Cole, I have a lot of faith in him. So I can still listen to some of his stuff. But I don't have that feeling. Like nothing gives me that feeling anymore. You feel me?
Mm. I do.
Grab me the same. I don't have that feeling. Like this shit woke me up for real.
Mm. Mhm.
So while yeah, I don't need another young black man to die. I'm a Scorpio, so we gotta always find some sort of significance in death. You know what I'm saying? And although this was unfortunate, I found a beautification factor in this particular situation because it removed the sting of the fear of death from a lot of people.
Mhm.
With him and his mother, did together. Shout out to Mama Angelique. And
Mhm.
it exposed a lot of things. It opened my eyes to a lot. It woke me up to a lot of things, just perspective wise. Life insurance, um, like you always talk about. You know what I'm saying? Wills. Matter of fact, putting my will on blockchain because um, old wills, that system is antiquated. They did save me with the fake will. They doing nipping with the will. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm talking too much, but um, you know, what's the new technology? You put your will on blockchain, right? It can't be altered. It's locked into that digital ledger. There's new ways to do things to make you a better person. So when these things ignite you to think about them, then you start looking for what the innovative ways are, the new technology. And that could probably set a precedent that somebody else can follow later on down the road to be like, damn, oh, son did his shit different. We're going to do it that way. So when you go, they're looking at how you went and
Right.
they're adopting these new modems and modalities for how they might go to secure wealth within their shit. You know what I'm saying? If I make it possible for when I go that my family get 100 million,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? That's beautification. That's a glorious death. You feel
Mm.
me?
Mm. Glorious stuff.
It's a glorious death.
Totally.
So it's like I mean, because that's what we got to get back to as a society, as a people, period. You know, our fear of the majority of our fears are all tied into our fear of death. And the fact that as a people, we haven't been properly prepared for that in which we embody because they're identifying themselves as black. Nigga, that's death. But there was a beauty that went along with it. The fact that God is scared of himself, ain't nobody else scared of you no more.
Mm.
So the niggas took the sting out of death and the fear factor, then niggas don't fear, melanated people, the representatives of that thing anymore. You're not spooky no more. And the lack of your spookiness has allowed your competitors to run laps around you. You know what I'm saying? And throw eggs at you and taunt you and bully you and all types of other shit. You dig what I'm saying? Because you lost your fear factor. And your
Mm.
fear factor has always been tied into death. So that's my little bit that I have to offer.
Mm.
Somebody dropped the name in the chat. So I figured that while we are on it, we might as well stick with it. So let me just do this real quick. And we're gonna keep it too long. You know what I'm saying? But somebody hit me with another billionaire that I never heard of. So we're gonna have to run through this. You heard?
Mhm.
David Stewart, right? And these are very general names. Richard Smith, David Stewart, Richard Lewis, or Robert Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Meaning, this sounds like any one of us, right? Reckless shit. David L. Stewart, born 1951, is chairman and founder of Worldwide Technology, Inc., one of the largest African American owned businesses in America. How many are, let me get a one in the chat room. How many people have heard of Worldwide Technology? David Stewart is one of just four black billionaires in America, being 745th
Mm. Mm.
in the Forbes Billionaires 2019 list. So this man is alive, right?
I don't want to have no other conversation, my nigga. Like for real, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, and I don't blame them for not wanting to be king either. But this is crazy, man. These people is lying.
Hold
It's black people making major motherfucking moves, man, and I got
on.
to keep focusing on the junkies. Fuck out of here.
Stewart was born in Chicago, Illinois, the son of Dorothy, a homemaker, and Harold Stewart, a mechanic, right? So daddy brought the check home and mama stayed home, you know what I'm saying, and held the home together, right? This is traditional. As a child growing up in Clinton, Missouri, Stewart faced poverty and discrimination. I vividly remember segregation, separate schools, sitting in the balcony at the movie theater, being barred from the public swimming pool, notes Stewart, who was amongst a small group of African American high school students who integrated the public swimming pool in Clinton in 1967. Stewart received a BS degree in business from Central Missouri State University in 73. So, to the ADOS and the rest of the people who talk about slavery being the main barrier to our upward mobility of movement and all of this shit. And some of these niggas is my age and younger, and you never motherfucking experienced segregation, right? You ain't have to break no color lines. You don't have none of that shit on your resume. You ain't get no fucking dog sick on you or nothing. And you talking about barriers, and it's real people in real time kicking down motherfucking doors and walls and not making no excuses, and they stacking billions,
Mm.
but they don't have post-traumatic slave syndrome, and they had to deal with segregation, and they came up from the South and all types of other shit. So what am I missing?
Mm.
Business career. After graduating from college, Stewart worked at Wagner Electric as a production manager from 74 to 75, a sales representative at Missouri Pacific Railroad Company, and a senior account executive at Federal Express, where he was recognized as Salesman of the Year and inducted into the company's Hall of Fame in '81. He owned transportation business specialists and transport administrative services in the years leading up to founding Worldwide Technology. He is also a founder of Telcobuy, a global technology and supply solutions company. Worldwide Technology. In 1990, Stewart founded Worldwide Technology, a systems integrator. In '93, Worldwide Technology concentrated its focus on the implementation of enterprise-wide conversion services and telecommunication networks. In '99, Worldwide Technology spun off its telecommunications division to form telcobuy.com. Sales for the two companies continued to grow, although revenue slipped in 2002 as Worldwide Technology felt the impact of the technology recession. In 2003, combined reported revenue passed a billion, and Stewart formed Worldwide Technology Holdings Company as the parent company for the two firms. Worldwide Technology's 2018 revenue is estimated to be greater than 11 billion, which will rank it as one of St. Louis's largest private companies.
Mm.
So at another time, we could get into family. Why did he create a holding company and put the assets in the holding company? We're not gonna talk about G if we ain't get off A yet. You dig what I'm saying? But there's a whole lot of game being dispensed.
This dude just walking the earth.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna.
This dude just walking the earth, man.
What I keep hearing. What do I keep hearing? Right, that the path to a billion, you have to go through media or technology. Right, that's the common denominator that I'm continuously hearing with all of these people who are super successful. Right? So why is the emphasis and the impetus not put on telecommunications, telecom tech, in
Mm.
media, in our society, our community? If this shit is all about the bag and you telling me the cash rules, my nigga, then by proxy, the person with the fucking bag supposed to be able to dictate the narrative. Why is these niggas still out here selling crack?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So I don't even want to like super duper continue with this shit because it's like I ain't in my feelings. I'm just saying I know I got work to do.
Right. That's all.
Look, and it's
That's
almost
all.
3 o'clock. We ain't giving them 3 or 4 hours no more because I don't want this game to be filtered by too much game and the fucking cup running over. And it's like you don't appreciate this information because it was for free and it's too much of it.
Mhm. Mm.
You know, less is more. So
That's more. How about that?
I'll let you close it up.
That's more. I want you. I mean, yo, there's no other conversation to have. Like,
I need you to can't hear you that good.
what you say, bro?
Huh?
What you say?
Can't hear you that good.
No, you
There
you
you
was
go.
breaking up. You said what?
I hear you better.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. I was saying that, man. I don't want to have no other conversation. Like, I only want to talk about economics, not even money. I want to talk economics,
Economics, the system.
finance,
Yeah.
the system, financial systems, economic strategy. You know what I'm saying? Economic strategy, and it can be done. It is this shit hard? Yeah, hell yeah.
It
You
has
know what
a
I'm
I
saying?
wouldn't say it has a difficulty factor Like the brother said, like when I get into the gym and I'm into body sculpting and conditioning, I gotta get weights that's gonna challenge me. You feel me? I have to go in there knowing that there's something very uncomfortable about to take place. And I have utilized and I've created ways and methods to trick myself into fucking having a pleasure for pain. Okay? A pleasure for pain. And if I don't feel discomforted, I did not do anything. And I feel fucking defeated and I wasted my time. So if I can do the same thing in the gym, then I have
Right.
to apply that in every facet of my walk that
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for growth in. Any
Right.
growth sector that I go into, I have already ordained this in my mind based on my conditioning. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? The shit is gonna hurt. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
painful. But guess what? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the glory will find me, and I'm a bask in that. So I'm gonna go through what I need to go through to get to where I need to get to, and I've already made that motherfucking determination. So it's the same approach that you have to have with these endeavors. When we talk about the risk to reward ratio, if you gotta put in 2 or 3 years, let's use our brother Biggie Smalls as an example. Such a short amount of time, right? But the plethora of work that was poured into those 3 to 4 years, that 3 to 4 year run, right? He got to retire his fucking jersey in the ethereal rafters where it can never be removed from. He immortalized himself. Tupac as well. Short amount of time, great amount of fucking input. You know what I'm saying? Put 2, 3, 4, 5 years aside so you can create the future for yourself that will ring in all fucking seven rungs of seven heavens, right? Jesus and them will know your name. Your babies will be straight. That's the sort of dedication that you got to put forward, especially if you're talking about the fucking, if you hashtagging the marathon continues, nigga, you got to be better than Nick. You got to be better than Nick because he already left the blueprint. So you got to excel. You got to go past that. And there's many others out there that, you know, are looking to be lapped. However you choose, you know, whatever you choose to do. Find out about some more of these ancestors whose names don't get mentioned or honored at all. Put it down. Who broke through the fucking threshold, right? Who got to a victory laps. Let's honor them, even if you don't agree with them. Acknowledge them. And go into the archive. Like, there's a lot of cloth. That pop up that we had at the cryptocurrency plug location in LA, where you got all them powerful minds speaking at that venue. Darren Henson, right, the brother from Soul Food, is currently in a family business. He got up there. His mentor, who's a reverend, who's a spiritual guide, if you will, for Farrakhan and presidents and other fucking dignitaries. She got up there and spoke. Billionaire PA, 19 Keys, A.A. Rashid. Um, there's a brother up there named Doc who represents a company called Pundy X. Okay, Pundy X has a device where you have a fucking bank in your pocket, a cryptocurrency bank, a portable POS system, point of sales. Okay, the sister that opened up and owned the venue, only one of three crypto exchanges in the fucking country, and the only one that's melanated, where she trades over 150 coins, different coins, and can tell you about 1,500 in real fucking time. Where this is the information that's needed to close the wealth gap, and the fucking window to that shit is gonna close in 2 to 5 years. So we don't have no time to waste. I guess all of this is very important. Very important. You know what I'm saying? Find the time. to allocate your resources and your energy towards the shit that's going to give you a substantial ROI, which is a return on your investment. What are you investing? Your attention, your time, your most valuable asset. Yeah. And the Cash App, $ Blue Pillar 44. And my brother, what's yours? Ken. Ken, you there? Yeah, his is $ Kenny Briss, BRIS. Right? I don't know what happened to our brother, but you know, all money in. You know what I'm saying? All money in. All right. You got acquisitions to acquisition. You dig what I'm saying? So peace, love, and light. You know, appreciate y'all. Thank you for rocking with us. Let's get them thumbs up. You can share the video. You can do whatever it is you need to do. I do recommend that you sit down and you listen to it over and over again. And let some of the points that are being made sink in. You know what I'm saying? For the love of the family, you do not do this for likes and accolades and the adoration and none of that shit. This is a sacrifice so we can get it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not gonna get it and everybody can't come. But god damn it, I want to see some of y'all there. All right. You don't know where to get started in the crypto game. More than likely this Friday, I want to do a crypto show. I'm gonna bring some heavy hitters out and we're gonna make it as plain as possible. Because I don't think that it's plain for people and I don't fault you. I'm not blaming anybody, not pointing a finger. I don't consider you dumb, I don't consider you slow, I don't consider you off. You feel me? I want you to learn the same way that I did. And I had to ask the right questions to get the right answers. So I'm gonna do that in public with some of our guests so you can get it. You know what I mean? And whatever you don't get, you can follow up with the people that we bring through until you get it. But trust the fact that this needs to be gotten. All right. I appreciate y'all. Peace, love, and light. And thank you to Empress again. All right. Give her her roses, y'all, please. In real time. Let her know that you love her. All right. That's real love right there. All right, y'all. Peace to the family.